everybody.
Hi.
In my defense, Zorro needed his treatsy. So, if anyone is wondering what took me so long, that is why. I'm still getting messages. I just got another alert. I thought it was you, but no, it's somebody telling me how shitty an artist I am because I told them the truth. But anyways,
Oh my God. Are they
right?
still
Oh, it's
on
been
that?
happening. They're not mad. Again, remember, guys, if somebody stalks all the old podcasts you've been on to get dirt on you, checks all your old social media to get dirt on you, stalks your sister-in-law and in-laws pages to get dirt on you, um, goes through all of your old artwork and mass reports all of your social media, they're not mad. They're
They're
not
not obsessed or anything.
No. No. By the way, love your name, Captain. Oh, Fluffy Paws. Yes. So I forgot to do an announcement on this, but I think you did. I don't think either of us did.
I'm
It's been a
putting one
hectic
out
week.
right now.
Right. It's been a hectic week. Let me tell you something, guys. Because right now, at my job, if any of you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I literally did 4 hours worth of dishes the other night.
Oh shit.
Oh my God, yeah.
Dishes.
Like this pile was huge and I was exhausted. But again, it's official. I am management in the restaurant.
Your management, congratulations.
Technically manage everybody. And honestly, the only reason I got this, it is nepotism in a way. My boss is also my friend and she trusts me. But I'm also very good at this shit. So I have been all week we've been restructuring everything. We have been redoing the way the restaurant runs. I have been giving orders. Today, I was supposed to be editing all day. And she calls me at around noon and she's like, "What you doing?" And I'm like, I just got finished feeding all the animals. Zorro's sitting on my chest as per usual. It's only a matter of time till he's on my arm tonight. I was like, as per usual, Zorro's on me and we're just sitting and chilling. She goes, "Oh, can we sort the apartment today? Because all of the stuff for the restaurant, her apartment is directly above the restaurant. So
Oh my.
yeah. So anything she needs to get done for the restaurant is taking up space in her apartment." And I was like, okay. So I spent the day sorting all the catering side of the business and all that jazz. And then we're trying to cement 2 more events because it's a fun thing, guys. If you work for we're not talking like working for Olive Garden or anything like that, because typically if they take on events, it's something that corporate decides.
Yeah.
When you work for a small business, especially when it's a startup, you got to take whatever event you can get. And we've really started delving into the catering side. Well, my boss / friend, she's one of those people. She's like, "Oh, we got to go buy this. We got to go buy this. We got to go get that." And then she has piles of shit all over her apartment. And so I went and sorted it all today. And now it's going to be a couple more weeks of that. So
Oh boy.
what's going on? Oh, LG, hi. Heard there was a zoo here. Where are the animals at? Well, we're getting into that because Horror's been doing some digging.
Oh God.
And she has found some really cool stuff. But Horror, what's going on with you this week before we get into that? What is going on with you, my darling?
I'm stressing out.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Want to talk about that or no?
I don't mind talking about it.
Go ahead, because she messaged me in a panic.
Oh my God. And to top it off, I thought I was just sick because I was upset. I was sick because I was sick.
Oh no, you don't feel good on
So I was
top of
upset
it?
and sick. It was great. No, so typically for birth control, I well, at least for the first 2 heats of her life, no problem. Nothing, not even a shred of doubt. Kept her diapered, kept Rudy wrapped when they were out around to get each other, and no problems. Purposely breed her the first time. We're good. Second time, I have some kind of illness. I am deadly sick. And I decided to try disposable diapers instead of her regular diapers because I got tired of changing the diapers all the time.
Don't blame you.
And, or washing them, I should say. Because, you need enough to get through it. And I liked the disposables at the time because they were or not disposables, but so she can get them off.
Right.
I'm dying sick. I'm laying there in my chair. I look up, and my dogs are connected. And I'm like, fuck.
Fuck my
So
life.
I call my vet. I'm like, dude, what can I do? What are my options? And he's like, you know what? You're just going to have to try to keep them apart and hope it didn't take. And I'm like, all right. 60 days later, 2 puppies. So fine, this time be more careful. I don't know how or when it happened, but apparently I missed the start of her heat. And at some point she got because 60 days after her heat was off or over, I'm looking at her and she's not acting normal. And I take her to the vet. And I'm like, dude, I'm afraid of what it is. And he takes her back. Well, first he palpates her stomach. He's like,
it's what you think it is.
He doesn't say it. He takes her back. He says, let's do an x-ray. Does an x-ray. 2 fucking puppies. And I'm like, motherfucker, when did this happen? So this time,
now put a pin in these stories, guys. I'm going to tell you something in a second.
Out of abundance of caution, and because I did it before with her first heat and her second heat, I counted. I made sure I knew approximately when it was going to start. I started well ahead of when I thought it was going to be. I did everything I possibly could, except I didn't account for the fact that my dog is apparently smarter than I am.
And horny. Much horny.
And very horny. Though I'm not sure how much the horny had to do with it, because I think her puppy might have had a little bit to do with it too. And just a little bit of weak Velcro. Tiny bit of weak Velcro.
A little bit of the weakness.
Yeah. Because he liked to pull at her diaper. And, just one of those 15-minute, not even 15 minutes, 5 minutes, she's out of your sight.
Something to tug at.
You hear scrabble of toenails on the floor. You're like, doesn't sound normal. Mm-mm. And you look, and they're butt to butt. And at that point, it's too late to do anything. You just have to let them finish.
Because you can't pull them apart, guys. If you've ever had a male dog, not to interrupt you, if you've had a male dog that gets very excited and you notice a little bubble happen in the middle of their peen when they're still sheathed, that is because that is what happens inside a female dog for a male. So if you try to pull them apart, you can prolapse your dog. It's you can rip off the dingle and you can prolapse the female. So you just have to let them ride.
Yeah, you got to stand there and watch in horror as they remain connected longer, because the longer they remain connected, the more likely it is that the female will get pregnant. Because the more time he has to inject his little swarmies up into her.
And dogs can stay connected for up to, I think it said 3 hours, 3 or 5 hours, something like that. Long time.
Thankfully, it was only like 5 minutes, but still longer than I wanted it to be. Much longer. At all was longer than I wanted it to be.
And this is why, guys, this is no shade at all to horror. She did everything she was supposed to do. But this is exactly why 2 Mondays ago we had this conversation. Never sit there and say, I got this. My dogs will never get pregnant if I don't want them to. This will never happen. Da, 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 da. You'll hear it all the time from these overconfident people who think their dog should stay intact for their whole lives. And then
you get puppies.
You have it happen anyways. Thank you, Christian. I did hit 11,000 followers.
Congratulations.
I will say that the last few videos I've done, with the exception of the one that just came out the other day, they've been doing pretty good. But nice. This is exactly why I say it though, guys. Animals, people say I'm doing some kind of I forget the word right now. I'm still thinking all about the restaurant, but they sit there and say, "Oh, you're anthropomorphizing your animal's emotions." When I say, think about leaving an animal horny for the rest of their life to the point where it absolutely boggles their mind. They can't think of anything else, and they have to. Whether you like it or not, you are pushing them through that. If you look at deer go so insane with hormones, they kill each other. Like, this isn't just me anthropomorphizing an animal. It's nature. This is the pheromones outweigh your training
Let me
every time.
express something that's been going on that should further demonstrate the point.
Right.
My female dog, because she is so horny, and I am working at this point even harder to keep them even more apart, has now taken to hugging and humping my arm because she needs to masturbate because she is that horny. And trust me,
we're not saying it's right to let your dog do that, but the fact of the matter is,
at some point you kind of start to feel bad for her. She used to do it to a pillow, but I think we had to throw away that pillow. I kind of miss that pillow right now.
I kind of not for that reason, but we missed the.
We missed the pillow.
And you know, that's the thing, guys, is that, like, I get a lot of people to sit there and they trash me for it, or they get mad at me, or whatever, what have you. And I'm like, I understand waiting an allotted amount of time because certain breeds require that growth that comes from there. Because the thing is, and this goes into topics outside of the animal show. Fun fact, your genitals and all of the organs involved provide very important hormones to your growth throughout your life. And that is true for most anything. That's why, like, hysterectomies are so hard to get, because a hysterectomy for a woman is very detrimental. Unless you have a severe medical issue, you should not get one. And a lot of women don't want to hear that. Now, if you have endometriosis, something like that, you know, completely understandable.
Yep.
Hi, I want to offer promotion to my channel viewers. Oh, it's
well, thanks, bot.
Twitch. I don't even have any mods on Twitch to get rid of it.
I was trying to figure out where it was from, because for some reason that's the only one that's showing up. Really? I'm not seeing it. I had to pull up in the YouTube chat.
Sumo, are you saying the quartering doesn't fix any of his dogs? Now, here's what I will say. He has German Shepherds and Malinois. Here's the problem with those two dogs. They have a lot of inbreeding. Not so much the Malinois, but the German Shepherds do. German Shepherds have horrible hip issues. And hip issues are something that getting a dog fixed too early does cause. Yeah. Because they're large dogs.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Well, the hip dysplasia is what you're referring to. But yeah, I mean, there are times and places where you don't immediately fix your animal. When I have a smaller puppy, for example, I do prefer that they leave them intact a little longer, just to get the benefit of those hormones. Because if you fix a small puppy early, it's gonna stay on the smaller side. I had no problems fixing Sydney here at 4 months because he's almost 12 pounds.
Right.
Which for the breed is huge.
Large.
Yeah, but
large and in charge.
Yeah, you don't.
And that's the thing, guys. Like, I am not a promoter of fixing your puppy early. I believe that if you absolutely have to, i.e., Orion had a lot of aggression due to being taken from his family too early. Especially working class dogs. I can't stress this enough. With especially working class dogs, you cannot remove them from the mother too early. If you do, you miss out on vital life lessons for the
socialization
puppy.
Big time.
Massive. You know, a dog that doesn't understand its place in the pack. A dog that will remain with puppy-like behavior. Orion is going to be 6 years old next year. No, this year. It's 2023 now. Orion turned 5 in December, okay? He still has very puppy-like behavior because Greta allows him to do whatever the hell he wants because she's a very tolerant dog to other dogs. And as a result, Orion has a very hard time getting out of the puppy stage. He does a lot of very puppy-like behavior still, very bratty, very pushy, and there is no other dog to put him in his place. So I typically have to. I mean, it even happened last night at my dad's house with his cat. Okay, so Johnny, my father, mind you, drill sergeant in the Army, was going to be special forces. The last time, and I'm gonna tell you people this, please don't get mad at me. The last time my dad had a dog come after him, it was his dog in the 70s, and my dad took a stainless steel toaster to the side of the dog's head. Dog never came after him again. And, you know, so that's my father. He lets his cat get away with fucking murder. Johnny has always been allowed to do whatever the hell he wants. And as a result, Johnny is much more bratty than any other animal we've ever owned. Johnny will want me to pet him. If I'm sitting, whenever I sit, remember, they used to sit at the kitchen table. My father sits at the head of the table, and I sit to his left. All right? As I'm sitting to his left, Johnny will sit and go, he'll ask me to pet him. I will lean over and give him said pets. Well, every once in a while, Johnny gets a hair across his ass, and he doesn't like that I'm petting him. So Johnny won't just do a quick nip to tell me to go away. Johnny goes full force every time. He bites hard, he starts clawing, he starts hissing, and he starts spitting. But I don't put up with it. So I grabbed him right there, and I shoved him back, and then I held him down. And Johnny stopped growling and hissing real quick. Well, my dad's like, Cassandra. I said, no, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Leave it. And my dad didn't like it. And then my dad's like, Johnny, you can't act the way. I said, shut up. He knew what he was doing, and I just put him in his place. If you've got an animal that acts out and is aggressive, you have to show them. And it's not aggressive in the way that you're thinking. We're talking, when Johnny does something like that, when a cat asks you to pet them, and you're doing exactly what you normally do, but the cat decides to throw you off and attack, we're not saying beat the animal to a pulp. We are saying grab them rough, hold them down, and do not let them go until they calm down.
Yep.
And that's what I've done. Brownie gets it. Brownie's clapping for me. Fear not, the number one pet frog has arrived. And that is the thing. That is the thing. By the way, hi Moon. Hi. I would have said hi to the audience tonight. I feel so bad. Hi Rachel. Hi Derp. Hi Bublito. Hi Moon. Hi Allison. Hi Fluffy Paws. Hi.
Hey, Robust in my chat.
Huh?
Oh, Robust Delirium's in my
and Sumo Orange chat. And Robust. I am sorry, guys. My head is in a whole other place. Rachel has been sending me motivational things all week.
Nice.
The pack hierarchy. And the thing is, I know there's no technically alpha and omega. It's not technically, but there is dominance. There's always dominance. And if your cat is going to try to dominate you or dog, because I do it to I had to teach Orion from a young age. And hello, Sam. I had to do it to Orion from a young age. I did not have to do it with Greta, because Greta, like I said, is a very tolerant dog. She often tries to make peace rather than anything else. I was gonna put a post on my Instagram about it, but now we're a good almost half hour into the show. It's worthless, so I'm just gonna post it on Twitter. There's enough people that hate me that somebody's gonna notice it.
At the worst, we get some hate watchers and
for real
numbers.
Gonna get something. But yeah. So when it comes to horror, you should show that video you showed me of the Guarundi.
Oh, yeah,
Jaguarundi, right? Jaguarundi. So there's a lot of cat species, guys, out there that you don't know about. And what's weird is she sent me the Jaguarundi at the same time that I found a cousin of the civet. And we'll go over the civet, because a lot of folks really don't know what a civet is, and I think that's kind of funny. Matthew, go to bed. He just tagged me in something. No, but you need to go to sleep, sir.
You're supposed to be asleep. Come on. Let's see here, because I tagged you, but did I save it somewhere myself? Oh, screw it. I can do it this way.
I was also on a Dangerous Rhetoric this week. That was fun. I love the guys at Dangerous Rhetoric. That's a political thing, though. We're not entirely about that here. But they tagged me in a bunch of tweets on Twitter. So if you guys want to go see. Dangerous Rhetoric on YouTube. They've gotten some pretty big people. They've had Brandon Straka. They've had Buck Angel.
Oh, wow.
I'm very proud of my boys. I'm very proud of them. They do good things. Very good things. Oh, get ready. This is a cool animal, guys. This one's pretty nifty.
It's so cute.
It's so adorable. The Jaguarundi. Hold on, let me get this up. I know I had a whole thing on it. let's get a few facts about the jaguarundi going on here. So you're looking at this unique looking animal. Wikipedia sometimes is reliable. All right, and see,
Rarely.
as per usual, there's my Zorro.
Hmm.
The jaguarundi is a wild cat native to the Americas. Its range extends from central Argentina to in the south to northern Mexico, through Central and South America, east of the Andes. So technically, if you're in Texas or anything, you might, if one ever so decides to go a little further up, you might see one. I was chatting with some friends and the topic came up about indie artists. So I mentioned about the Thirst Trap Space Scotsman. They demand pics. He's not done yet. He's not done yet. Also, I've got to pay for my next installment on Clip Studio. You guys want to listen? Your girl's still catching up. It's gonna be another 2 months before I'm back to where I was in September. And I'll have all my money problems fixed. Its coloration is uniform to 2 color morphs, gray and red. Now, this doesn't mean it's like a fire engine red, guys. Remember this: when any coloration on animals is bubblyto. If I click on this, is it actually appropriate? He will troll me.
It doesn't surprise me.
Right. But whatchamacalls it? So whenever you hear a coloration morph or just coloration plain and simple, they'll call it blue, but it's really more like a silvery gray.
Yep.
They'll call it lavender, but it's more like a reddish gray. Like they'll come up with all these different colorations. And so just keep that in mind when you hear red. Remember, it's more like a rust. It has an elongated body with relatively short legs, a small, narrow head, small, round ears, a short snout, and a long tail, resembling mustelids in their respect. So mustelids, if I recall correctly, those are more like
Otters,
which are honestly just giant weasels in a lot of ways. But there's finding out about these animals can be really wicked cool. So we got a large secret of an alert. Jaguarundis are typically solitary or form pairs in the wild, though captive individuals are more gregarious. Unlike other sympatric, okay, even I don't know that word. Hold on. Sympatric? In biology, 2 related species or populations are considered sympatric when they exist in the same geographic area and thus frequently encounter one another. Oh, okay. So they're sympatric with the ocelot.
Mhm.
The jaguarundi is more active during the day and hunts mainly during daytime and evening hours. Individuals live in large home ranges and are sparsely distributed within a region. Can you tell I've had a long day? Entomology characteristics. So, the red is very pretty though. Oh, and they look more house cat like. Hold on, let me see if I can get this up. Yo, when you see the pictures they have on here, it's so pretty. Like, it definitely looks unique. What I think is fun, guys, is when you find out that there's just so many animals that you didn't even realize existed, right? Oh, apparently they have been found. Oh, this is a really good shot of it. Hold on. Oh, you guys are gonna like this. Is so cute. Oh, it's so cute. This is the most boopable nose. Look at that nose.
Oh God.
Who else wants to boop it?
Oh.
I mean, I will die trying. Look at that face.
Oh God, they're so cute.
Oh, that is a gorgeous critter.
It'll also take your hand off.
I know, right? That's my husband. Here's the red.
Oh, that's a nice color.
Which is really domestic cat-like. Like that one.
Yeah,
I'm
very
orangey.
at.
And then, honestly, they look much more domesticated in these photos than in the video you showed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wonder if they look like they're in some kind of conservatory, maybe, in those pictures.
Yeah, they are mostly. They said they're very elusive and reclusive, so more than likely, yes. Now, Can you do me a solid flavor? Because I don't want to bring up my own Facebook and you're not logged into yours. I sent you a link on the tweets.
On the Twitters.
Yeah, see, Brownie agrees. We want to boop that snoot. Kalugo. Ooh, all right, hold on. While you're doing that, we're gonna stop sharing this. I'm gonna look up a Kalugo.
Suddenly having problems. Oh, there we go. Whew. I was about to panic.
What?
Oh, I was having problems getting out of full picture mode.
Oh! Well, that's not what I was expecting at all. What are they, though? Space between Kalugo's fingers and toes are webbed. As a result, Kalugos were once considered closely related to bats. Oh, they're a primate. Oh, I have heard of this. It's a very old genre of primates.
Yeah.
Did you get it up?
I did. I just I tried to unmute it and hurt my ears.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, my fault. It was turned all the way up. All right, hold on.
Bub, I am not showing that. God almighty. It's exactly what I thought it was. It's exactly what I thought it was. Because then while you're doing that, I'm going to get up a couple of things. YouTube has widescreen keyboard support. Fix your shit, Rumble. Right. Rumble needs to get there.
Needs to get where what?
Where we have the widescreen support and all sorts of different things, honestly.
All right. So I've got it. If you want to add it to the stream, I got it shared.
Let me watch this critter.
Look at the baby. It's a kitten. You can come see. You can look at the kitten, but you have to relax. It's all right. Everyone's welcoming you. It's all right. You see the little babies?
Oh.
Come look at the babies with me. Come look at the babies.
You're like, fuck you.
I know, right? He's like, that's not good at all. I don't want none of that.
Aww.
Like,
honestly, he's more likely to eat anything.
He would. So this is why, like with servals, I tell people,
And in that moment,
never
he
get one of
realized
these
his
to have with
whole
your
world
kitten.
has been turned upside down.
How cute are those kittens, though?
Oh, those are
that
so
is
cute.
a gannet or a gannet. Let me share with you guys. This is a very
Oh God. Looks like he's related to lemur.
I know. Well, they're actually cats, so they are related to cats.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy. Like when you look at that, you can see that it's definitely got whatchamacallit, cat-likeness to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're a carnivore. They're not very big. There's apparently 14 species of them. And then what someone showed me was the Kalugo.
Oh.
Instead. And the Kalugo is actually a primate or related to primates. And
holy shit.
It's a little bit of nightmare fuel. It does not look real when you look at it. So this is a much older breed of animal. Like it's
flying lemur. Okay.
It's technically not. It's more of a primate. Well, lemurs are kind of primates. So I guess.
Lemurs they're kind of like an in between.
Exactly. But it's crazy to look at these creatures.
Looks like it's on the hereditary path of the bat.
Well, that's the thing. They thought it was related to bats for years. But apparently it's not. Which is just crazy to me. And then you guys might know about this one. So I want to see if anybody knows. Or I hope it doesn't say anywhere on here. But who knows what a civet is?
Yeah.
I want to get a
Anyway.
big shot. Oh. No. Go back to where it is. Okay. So look at how crazy this creature is. This is another cat.
Mm-hmm.
So civets, here's where it gets a little crazy, guys. Who has heard of civet coffee? So I think Horror knows where I'm going with this.
I won't drink it.
Sorry, you missed my question. I will look at it in a second. Real Wade Nation gaming clips. I will look at that in a second, honey. So if you don't know what civet coffee is, it's not where they take a civet and they make it into coffee.
Nope.
Nay. I've heard of the poop coffee. Exactly. So considered the best coffee in the world because of the digestive tract of a civet.
Mm-hmm.
Civet coffee has been making its rounds. I worked with one a few years ago. She was kind of sassy though. A civet? Really? That's cool. Here's what I will tell you. You'll never catch me doing it. But also, apparently it's called conservation issues because coffee is very difficult to collect. It is damaging to the civets. It's damaging to the environment around them because they have found some, and that's something I wanted to touch on today. This leads into it perfectly. A lot of we'll say ne'er-do-wells in the area where they're from will force feed civets to get more poop because it makes more money.
Mm-hmm.
There are other channels, other ways of people that do this. And I wanted to definitely warn you all about this. And I have actually helped stop a couple of these channels, even if it's just by reporting. If you're on YouTube and you see a puppy rescue video or a kitten rescue, you know where I'm going with this. Especially if these are animals that are just so happens these people happen upon a kitten drowning or a snake eating an animal or trying to eat an animal. Those are scams. And if you look across the channel that usually you'll find that video on, you'll see that exact same animal, usually in varying degrees of health, being rescued numerous times.
Over and over again.
The worst I have found is as of late, and this is just, it's the most brain dead thing I've ever seen anybody do. So sea turtle rescues where, they see a sea turtle and it's got a bunch of barnacles or something else on it and they want to save it. Some of them are real. But now they have taken to gluing rocks and coral and all sorts of things to regular turtles, and then after they unglue them, throwing these freshwater turtles into the ocean. Yes, Frank Gregory.
It's a lot like going to the restaurant and throwing the freshwater fish into the ocean.
And that's the problem, guys. Here's the reason why they do it. And these are all in the Asian countries where typically animal welfare laws are much different.
If existent at all.
If at all. And a lot of these folks do it because they'll have 20 or 30 channels and they get millions of views. And I can tell you right now, as a YouTuber, I don't make buco bucks. I make enough to get by. But I've already calculated if I made even 1 million views every month, I wouldn't have to worry. It's all about money. And they aim it towards Westerners because they know we're bleeding hearts. They know that we want to see them. And I go right back to who remembers I talked about the octopus. If you don't know what I'm talking about, guys, although most of our viewers are people who have been here every time, is clout really that important to you? Right, right. Like, it's that important to these people because here's what they do. It's not just clout, it's money. They will take this money. And yeah, I know Zorro, he kind of blends in, especially as of late, the last few weeks, all the animals have not been happy. You guys got to realize that for the last 2 years, and even during the pandemic, I was home so often. And are they? Oh,
Yeah, no, I'm not getting any in the.
refresh.
Oh, one moment. Hopefully, it won't
Yeah.
fuck any of this up.
We'll see.
I might be back.
Guys.
Hold on.
Let's find out. Let's wait. Let's see. And how about now?
It just tells me the audience will display here.
I don't get it because you were able to connect your Rumble, right?
I did fine. I see it, but I don't see any of the other stream chats.
I don't get it. So you don't see any of my chats?
I mean,
Yes,
I have
Dan
your
the Turtle
YouTube
Man.
up.
Dan the Turtle Man, guys. I've spoken to him. I actually helped him catch a couple of channels.
Nice.
Yeah, he's really cool. He's also really cute. But I can't lie, he is. But yeah, what was I saying before we were talking about you not seeing the chat? I was saying
the people making money off of YouTube.
They make a lot of money. They don't care about the clout so much. They just know. Oh, I was talking about Zorro and the animals. Okay, I got back on track. I am gone a lot now from the house, and none of them are happy. And so I don't know if it's a mix of we're having to get the house cooler now because it's getting towards the warmer weather. So Zorro likes how warm I am, or if it's because I'm gone. But I'll tell you right now, I can't sit. Guys, if I sit for more than 5 minutes, I get. Let me turn him so you can see. See that little white leg sticking out? Tapping my knee. And he's like, let me up. Let me up. And if I don't let him up, he just gets up on his own and sits on my shoulder. I don't have to do anything. I pull him up here because I'm a glutton. And my nose is getting stuffy again. I can't stand it. He's a nice Jewish. Oh, he is? Oh, how nice. Dan Turtle Man's a nice Jewish boy. But yeah, so the thing is, guys, they do it for money. So I would say to you, and we only have a small audience, but Human I Demand cuddles every day. Almost the entire interview I have with the Dangerous Rhetoric, he's in it. He's sitting there having a blast. But yeah, if you guys see these channels immediately, you can't report them on your phone. You have to go onto the desktop. But if you see these channels where something just doesn't look right, because like there was this octopus video I've spoken about on here before, and it was on Facebook. I remember looking at it, and the octopus were face to face, like beak to beak, and tentacles were flying. And I saw one of the octopus turn black, and then the bigger octopus sucked up for a second, and then the other octopus shot away. And they were like, octopus mating. And they put this romantic violin music to it. And everyone in the comments is like, oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, I can see the passion in their lovemaking. Oh, it's so this, it's so that. And I was like, I know how octopus mate. That's not it. Because the male octopus has a specialized tentacle that he inserts gently into the female. And I'm like, that didn't look like it. So I went and I looked up a video of octopus fighting. Lo and behold, the video I saw was identical to 3 others I found that were all of male octopi fighting. I looked it up. Octopi is a proper word. Shut up, Matthew. It is a proper word. A marine biologist said octopi is also okay. I can't. You should be sleeping. Talking about, yeah. And the thing is, because people don't know what they're looking at. And especially on the internet, guys, we are easily tricked. And I will tell you right now, animals, and we talked about this before, with the dogs that have the shaking, and everyone thought it was so funny, they put it to music, and it's actually like a very bad neurological issue. Is octopi when you slice a pie into 8 pieces? Octopi is correct. That's right. Desert Jack's always got me on the back slice. And, well, octopi fights being mistaken for lovemaking. Yes. And this is something that happens a lot. We need to be more discerning about the animal videos we see, guys, because when one goes viral, it can create this misconception in the head of how an animal acts, reacts, and how you should be acting to an animal. For instance, what were we talking about last week, Horror? About how people treat dogs.
Mm-hmm.
How they believe dogs should react and know. Why? Because media has made people think that.
Yep.
So it's ridiculous. Oh, good golly. It's been a long week, guys, for both of us. So now, Horror, since we already discussed it, what is your next options for the pupper?
Well, in theory, there are a few options. I could attempt to have her spayed right now, which is not a good idea. You should never have your dog spayed while they're in heat, or while they're pregnant, because it can actually cause a lot of difficulties in terms of tying off blood vessels because they're all expanded. There is something called the mismating shot that you can have done. It's not, I wouldn't call it a great idea. It's got its own problems, but I won't do that either. Or I can basically kind of sit around and wait to see if she's pregnant or not. There's approximately a 40% chance on one mating that she will be pregnant.
Right.
From my experience with these two particular dogs, I might as well just say she's pregnant now and move on with my life.
Because they always, they haven't missed a target yet.
No, so far they've been right on it. And I mean, I have a tiny, itty bitty bit of hope, just because
5 minutes.
there's it's just like a human getting pregnant. You have to hit the right window, and there's a chance that eventually they'll miss the window.
At some point, they got to leave that window shut.
I have to get unlucky at some point.
Right.
Even though in this case, the 60% chance is the higher chance.
Right.
For some reason, I keep falling in the 40%.
You just, again, you're lucky like that. And see, the thing is, for me, the rescuer in me, my first instinct is to spay and abort. That's my first instinct. But I get what you're saying. It depends on how late in the pregnancy. Also, I will say that if it's early in the pregnancy after a heat, it's not as big a deal. But if you're like close to the puppies, just let it happen.
If you're close to the puppies, then you might as well just have the goddamn puppies. But there is that period between the two. It's still not the best time to do it.
Right. It's not, but it's if you're trying to avoid the litter and you also want to get the dog fixed. It's not the most ideal. And I've actually gotten flack for it because, as everyone knows, I am pro-life. But I am not when it comes to dogs and cats and mating. And people get mad at me. But here's the thing, guys. There are literally there's 4 million pit bulls alone in America. Do you know the number one dog in the shelter is a pit bull?
Yep.
And not to say she has pit bulls, because she doesn't. But you have to keep in mind that even though Horror keeps track of all her puppies and all that jazz, you're going to have people, once that dog leaves your house, you really don't have a say in the end. Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. You have no say. And they will spay while pregnant up until she starts lactating, basically. But yes, there are more risks and more blood if you stay while pregnant or in heat. It can be done, of course. Exactly. Mm-hmm. It's not impossible. It's not
ideal.
Oh God, you can hear the clicking in my nose with how stuffed it is. I was around a lot of dust today, guys, because we were rearranging her whole apartment, and I just hate that I can hear the clicking. They are great dogs, but the thing is, you have to remember that, and this is going to touch on the subject, and I'll say it and let it go. Unlike with children who are waiting in an orphanage or waiting in a foster home to age out and live their own lives, which is still not happy, there are millions of animals in shelters every day waiting to be euthanized, or that live on the street and die very, very rough deaths, get horrible diseases, get put into dog fighting rings because of overbreeding. And we have to remember that they breed a lot more than we do. They can have a lot more babies at one time by a lot of different baby daddies. I hate that phrase, but it's true. And, so you have to be realistic. And a lot of people are like, well, it's not nature. Okay, dogs, and we said it before, are not nature. We made them. That's us. So we have to be responsible. That's my take on it. But when she messaged me, I was like, oh, that sucks. I said it to her husband. I'm like, oh, poor Horror.
I mean, we may not see eye to eye on this because I probably will not get her fixed at this point. If there are puppies and I can't find them good homes, I will just keep the puppies.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of here on my behalf.
Right.
I fucked up. It's my fault. I need to bear their burden, much like if I was to get pregnant. So
I'm pretty sure you enjoyed the burden of getting there, though, sister.
I would enjoy that burden far more than this one.
Right. And that's where it's just like, mainly because especially in this town that I'm in, there are so many stray dogs. There are so many animals that are not getting adopted. I'm grateful that the local shelter has had several upgrades over the years, and it's okay if we don't see eye to eye on it. I look at it from the point is, you're one of a very rare exception that would even keep the puppies.
Yeah, no, my very first dog, well, not my very first dog, but one of the first dogs I can remember we had, his name was Winston. And he was the product of a Samoyed that had been stuck in the backyard in heat after the owners bred her to a purebred dog. And we're really confused when they came out with this mess of black and curly-tailed, vaguely German Shepherd looking puppies. Which, if you put your in-season dog outside where all the other neighborhood dogs can get her, you really shouldn't be that surprised.
Crazy how that works.
So, you just gotta kind of, he was a great dog. He was an amazing dog, but my mother rescued those dogs because the owner actually wanted to do the whole sack in a river thing.
Yeah. We never promote that. If the dogs are already out,
you find them
at that point, they're your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, like, that is your responsibility. You didn't know, like, that's how Greta came to be. And I love my parents' then neighbor and my friend now, but she was like, well, I didn't think they'd get pregnant. You left intact dogs together to play. You never watched for her heat. And
how did you not notice at some point? I mean,
oh, she caught them connected, and she's like, well, I didn't think they'd get pregnant. And I'm like, 17 puppies later, in one litter.
Oh, God, those big dogs.
Yeah, Greta's mother was 65 pounds. She's still alive, Daisy and Duke. And her dad was 65 pounds, 70? But he was shorter than Daisy. And but Daisy is not a nice dog. Like, Daisy didn't like most people, and she did not like her puppies because the puppies tore her nip nups off.
Oh, God.
Uh-huh. And so she started attacking the puppies, which is one of the reasons that I took Greta on, because she would not breastfeed them because
they were being too rough.
They're being too rough. And Greta she was a rough puppy. Like, Greta, for as sweet and gentle as she is, Greta liked biting and biting hard, and she thought it was funny. You could tell, because when puppies do something really cheeky and then they do it again and they're looking for a reaction from you, can puppies, like, in their own doggy way laughing about it. Well, I had to get her out of that habit real quick, because And that came from being around very rough and tumble litter mates. What are you doing, sir? Sinbad. What are you doing? He's over there fucking with the lights. You can't see him. He's just off camera. Let me see.
Oh, yeah. That's a cat looking to get in trouble.
He is. Sinbad. What are you doing?
Like, whatever I want.
He's like, I don't know. He's so bad. For now, I secretly feed it every... What? Feed what? Oh, now I'm nosy.
Cat.
The other day, I saw a stray cat. She was super friendly. I wanted to keep her. But if I keep her, I have to pay my landlord $400 due to inflation. I can't keep her. Here's what I will also tell you. She is super friendly right now. It's March.
Cat season's coming.
She's probably pregnant. Your best bet, Brownie, would be to call a local rescue, see if they have any fosters now, because kitten season's coming and it's going to be rough. I am dreading it. I'm genuinely dreading it because last season, that asshole's the only one I got. Okay? He's the only one I got. Really, Zorro? He's out there blowing ass behind me. And but I am dreading it. Where she is a little easier because most of the animals that are out there, they have plenty of wild to live in and never have to worry about people. I am not so lucky.
No, more to the point, a lot of the farmers will actually take care of them because they want to encourage them to eat the mice around their feed and stuff. So it's the same. You don't see a lot of wild pets around here. If you see a loose dog, it usually belongs to somebody and it just got out.
Right. You know, we have, and the cameras, because I don't have my, I didn't pay the bill. I don't have my security system right now, but I would regularly get random animals from the neighborhood showing up on my camera, especially dogs, like the amount of dogs that just wander my neighborhood.
Yeah, no, I've found in the time we've lived here and had the camera out front, I've seen maybe 2 or 3 dogs total in the past 2 or 3 years. And like 2 cats.
Oh, I've lost count. And we get the same ones over and over again. We get the same animals. We'll get a lot of the same kinds. See, this is what I'm talking about. Sam, excuse me. Here's what I'll tell you guys. If you have the mental capacity, if you have the time, and if you have the heart, offer to be a foster. If you really don't want to own a pet and you really financially can't handle it, guess what? Rescues will pay. They will pay for the vet bills, the food, anything you need for the animal, they will pay for. All you got to do is take care of it. And the one thing I'll say is being a bottle feeder, bottle babies are a round-the-clock care. They need to be fed every 2 hours or they will die. So if you are someone who's very lonely and you have no life,
a lot of free time
on your hands, and you have the freedom to do something in your home, I highly recommend. God, you can hear the clicking. I hate it so much.
We can hear it.
I can hear it, and I hate it. I hate stuffy noses, and it always happens after a super dusty day. But anyway, what should I call it? Become a foster, because people are gonna need it. They are going to need it. There's a lot of stray cats where I live. My cat will try to fight them at the patio or by the window. Especially in Florida, the warmer states, you're going to see people do it more. That's where I am. You will see cats that have a home but wander in the upstate, like in New York or in any of those places, but they usually go back home.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, you find a lot of animals that get dumped all the time because people have it in their head that
it'll be fine out here.
Fine out here. It's an animal. It knows how to hunt. Oh, and some dude on Instagram. Let me see if I can get this up. I think you'll find this funny. I didn't even bother responding because he sips the juice so hard it wasn't even worth it. Let me see. Not that one. Here it is. So let me share this. This was crazy today. How do I get it up?
And to rehydrate the kibble, I use some warm goat milk. Today he'll be having the beef patty from We Can Eat Raw. He's going to get 1 ounce of that and 6 ounces of duck. I sliced some cucumbers, some blueberries, and some strawberries. He's going to get a rabbit foot along with a quail egg and some coconut oil. He's going to get 3 pumps of his ultra oil, and this is the finished product. We head out to the patio. He's going to wait for my command.
Eat.
That's a good boy.
Now, Horror, I can't see your face right now, but I bet you're wondering what my complaint is, right?
A little curious, yeah.
Okay, so first off, way too much food for that size of a dog.
I was wondering about that. That seemed like an awful lot.
Like that is easily 3 breakfasts right there. But that's not the complaint of this guy either. Where do I see the comments on this? Can I see the comments on it? Because that's what I'm trying to get to. It's not letting me see them.
I can see your comment.
Right, that's all I can see is my comment.
There's not like a more comments thing.
Let me see if I can go to the page and go to the post. Here it is. Okay. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
This is what the person that posted this said. Chris Vetmed. Now, I'm never going to go to this vet. Let me see. Yeah, listen to what he says, okay? U.S. Black veterinarians are in here trying to plead with y'all to listen to us about balanced nutrition. Kibble is not McDonald's or fast food for dogs. All this TikTok stuff looks healthy, but it's unbalanced and will inevitably make your dog sick. Actual veterinarians are designing and balancing these kibble foods. Many brands like Purina and Royal Canin have prescription food options that have literally extended the lives of thousands of patients.
And giving them other problems. Oh, sorry. Did that come out?
Oh, did that? Oh, shit. You know, you mean like extended organ failure and extended issues with their teeth and with their digestion and with cancers and skin problems and but you know.
And then let's not talk about how much they charge for it, even though it really is kind of just the regular stuff.
You mean this glorified soy meal and cornmeal? And see, this guy, I literally said, I was like, I don't know what you're like. As soon as I saw right here, as soon as I saw Purina and Royal Canin, I was like, oh, well, fuck you. Like, I don't believe in anything you have to say, sir. Because here's the thing, guys. Purina tests its foods. Guess how it tests its foods? With labs they own. They certify themselves with themselves. So yeah, I'm going to trust them.
It's like the government investigating itself. It's always done nothing wrong.
And that's why our government works so well today.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm so pro-government.
I know, right? Listen, you wouldn't be pro-government. But when I tell you guys, that's why I get so, like, I laugh about it. Purina, Nestle, like, that's who owns them. Purina, Pedigree, all of them, they literally lobby for less restrictions on pet food, for less regulations on pet food. Does nobody wonder why? Does nobody wonder why? They're the same people. Again, we've said it before. The same people that follow the AKC, the same people that believe in breed-specific legislation. and yet you want to trust these brands? Really? Okay. Sure. Even though animals have developed a corn allergy, thanks to them. Animals have developed soy allergies, thanks to them.
There's a lot of animals with chicken allergies. My Grace, for example, you feed her chicken, she ends up scratching at her ears for hours. And I'm talking she's like trying to dig her foot into her ear because she had a little bit of chicken.
Crazy. Getting these yeast infections that they shouldn't be having. Poultry issues and intolerances. The only reasons these happen is because they're feeding them chickens that are less than savory. They're not human grade food. And what that means is the chicken might have had cancer. The chicken might have died 4 weeks before they took the meat in. Like, they were clowning this woman about the rabbit's foot, as if the fur is detrimental to the dog, even though it is quite healthy for a dog because it contains keratin, it contains a lot of vitamins and nutrients. It is perfectly healthy for your dog. One of the only reasons, and she and I said it before in the past, that you should have kibble for your dog is to keep their teeth clean. But you should also be getting an extra, like, bones, raw bones they can chew on, antlers. There are literally things designed and made. I used to get them for my dogs all the time. There are bone treats. They're shaped like bones. You're supposed to give it to your dog every night to clean their teeth. Now, I haven't been able to afford them in a few years because they're expensive. Like, just those treats alone for my dogs for like 2 weeks was like $60. So that was back when Star Sun was making,
money.
So I had that for them every night. But my dog's teeth were perfect up until then. And then about the last year, the plaque has started to bring up some. I'm really going to have to invest in. Once I have money, I can't wait to get antlers again and stuff. Like, because Orion chewing on cardboard just isn't as great for his teeth as it should be. Soft and it's fun, but
So if you get some sticks out there, sticks aren't bad for him.
The problem is all the sticks. He's too strong for it. It doesn't even, like it. He's too good at eating. He's got a very strong jaw. People don't realize that streets can be very dangerous. Your cats can be run over by cars. That happens a lot. Yes. The thing is, just because you might not use rat poisons on your property doesn't mean
someone else don't.
Like, that's one of the things I'm very grateful about is that, with an owl, rat poison works pretty quickly. But an owl, if they just see a mouse, they can see it. They're going to eat it. They don't care if the mouse is dead. Your cat might do the same if it's out there, but in your house, not the case. You want your animal to experience nature and everything, save up the money and get a catio. It's not that bad. But
no, there's actually really affordable options for those kinds of things.
Oh, let's see, because Sam, I believe, if I recall correctly, you're a vet tech. You told us. We see lots of pets allergic to chicken or beef. We like to advocate for alternative protein kibble, but it can be hard to find. Exactly. I really do advocate. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Har.
I feed my dogs a salmon-based kibble.
I try to make sure that I never feed them one type of meat. My cats get a multitude, because I use Tiki Cat. So a Tiki Cat, like, the one thing I hate that vets have recommended, and yes, I do get a couple of tummy issues here and there as a result, but I would rather them have a little bit of a loose poop than have them have a full intolerance. My animals, for the most part, are very hardy because I switch up between turkey and lamb and quail, chicken, beef, salmon, ocean whitefish. I flip the script all the time on what they eat because I need to make sure that they're healthy and they're resilient and they're getting a variety in their diet. Giving your animal the same thing every day is very detrimental for several reasons, because someday, no matter how loyal you are to that pet food brand, they could shut down.
Have a problem. Or they could have a problem because, every brand is eventually taken over and someone out there tries to cut corners to make it cheaper, even if it's a brand that you've used for generations.
Exactly.
They can end up doing that.
It's so true. They could change the recipe without notice. And a lot of times they'll change just an ingredient and not tell you. And they don't care.
Nope.
All they care about, guys, is the bottom dollar. The brands that care, and I know this is going to sound stupid, but the brands that care are those expensive ones that you don't hear about. They charge that much because they don't have a choice.
Yep.
Like, these expensive brands are there to give you better nutrition. Like, there's a lot of brands I would love to go for. I just simply can't afford it. But that's the thing. By the way, if anyone's watching this, I will totally take a sponsorship for pet and dog food. I'm just saying. Okay. Like,
as long as it's good.
As long as listen, cat person, dog person, sponsor me. But I'm willing. Oh, okay. Totally off topic. I've been asking everybody this. I don't know if I already asked this, but I'm going to now. I got an offer for a sponsorship, guys.
Ooh.
Michelle already said she thinks it's fine, and I can spin it. But I want all your opinions, because many of the people in this chat are people that watch me all the time. It's a subscription to a snack box, like candy and chips and things like that.
Have you ever advocated not eating candy and chips?
I don't advocate not to, but I do advocate to make better choices and to eat in moderation. Do not eat unhealthy if you can avoid it. And I love monthly subscription boxes. I love them. I think they're the most fun. I would join subscription boxes for things that I don't even do. I can't knock you down, Starson, because you're speaking truth, right? And so my question is, guys, if you saw me, and Hara, you can chime in and because you're very honest, you shoot from the hip. If you saw me sponsored by a monthly snack box, but I spin it as, hey, if you want to splurge for yourself every month, this could be your way to snack, and you're trying new cultures in the process, because it's one of those ones. It's not Snack Crate. It's one like it though, where every month they hit a new country.
Those are fun.
Trying new cultures, and I would actually, because they're a smaller company, I am going to try to ask them if they could do a healthy version, like dried fruits from other countries or things like that. And so I haven't reached out. I got the email a few days ago, and I have been consternating over this internally ever since, because it's my first real sponsorship offer. Like, they have a list of videos they've watched of mine.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah,
so they actually watch you. So it's interesting because they watch you, so they know what you're saying. So they might. Interesting. Well, I mean, I would say on one hand, if you are prepared for the number of people who are going to come at you and scream at you for being a hypocrite for advertising a candy box, I don't see there's a problem, because in the end, you aren't telling people that they need to buy this. People are their own people, and they should be intelligent enough to know if it's something they can handle or not. And you can always say, I want you to be healthy, and if you don't think you can handle this, don't get it. Make sure they're okay with you saying that first. But in the end, people are, I mean, I can't talk when it comes to those subscription boxes, because I did one of those Tokyo boxes for a year.
I want those so bad.
For like 2 years, I did it for like 2 years. And that's
what I want. I want Sakurako in Tokyo. I want those.
When I brought Sheep here, he ended up eating like a year and a half worth because I never ate them. I would try like one Kit Kat and maybe one or two other things out of the box, and then I would forget the box even existed. For a fat person, I'm really bad at eating my snacks.
Yeah. See, what I like to do with these snack boxes, because my husband and I did Snack Crate for a while, but they got a little stale. Like, not stale as in the food itself, stale as in like they were
boring.
Like, they were just doing very and so we want, one of our goals for the next year, we want to be able to buy a thing of Sakurako and a thing of Boksu, because we both eat those snacks and they come with really cool little collectibles, but you have to sign up for the 12-month program in order to do it. So I'm like, okay, if you sign for the 12-month program, then every month you'll get the little collectibles, and that's what I want. And I love boxes. Like, I used to do Bark Box and Kitnip Box, loved those. And I would do what else was there? I did the tea subscription. I love those things. Like, that's my thing. But yeah, so you don't think it's a bad choice? You just think that there's going to be some people that are going to be like, oh, of all people, you.
I think that you will, when you get into your fights with TikTok, run into the people who are throwing it in your face, like saying that you're a hypocrite. How dare you say one thing and then do this other thing? But if you have never sat here and said that you should never eat any of these things
No,
or anything like that, then it's not
it.
hypocrite. You're literally just telling people to make better choices.
Right.
And sometimes a better choice is knowing that now I have this specific box of sweets that I can eat, but so I don't need to buy them from the store.
Right. That was my specific thought process, is that everyone's going to have it, because I believe if you don't have sweets in any form, you are bound to fail
at some point. Yep.
And so that's why my idea was, this would be, if you have a really hard time, you're over shopping, you always go out and buy too many snacks, and then you feel guilty and you either want to eat them or you binge, this would be all right. I don't want to go too long on this because it's derailing the conversation, but I wanted your opinion on that, because Sam actually had a really good question. Thank you guys, and thank you, Hara, for I'm gonna do it, but I wanted your opinions first. Moon.
Oh my Moon.
Thank you, honey. Thank you for the $20 donation, Moon. What did she say? Let me see. Your knowledge of animals has always impressed me. It made me realize how most people, including myself, are misinformed about animals. I really like these Monday streams. Thank you, honey. I really appreciate that. It's one of the few things that ever since I was little, I'm really into animals. And it's really easy for me to retain that information more than most information. Like, it's just like, did you know? And so it's like, I don't know if that's the same for horror. But that's
no. I can tell you more things about horses than I can tell you about anything I studied in college. So.
There you go. And see, now, I don't know if you'll answer this, but I do. I would say stick to any high protein diet and actually add in supplements. So I have not found a senior. I mean, I will say this: Tiki Cat does have Tiki, Halo, Castor, and Pollock. They all do have senior kibble, and they're very good and they're very healthy. That being said, so like for instance with Zorro, I supplement his diet. Zorro gets extra because as they get older, I would say any cat over 10, even 9 in some cases, although I do have some 9-year-olds that don't need it. They're not in the health needs that Zorro's in, because Zorro spent almost 3 years eating Purina. That's besides the point. It's crazy how that works. Daisy and him are of similar age, and Daisy's no, Daisy's a little younger, but anyways. So I would recommend getting a joint supplement. I think we went over this before, but adding ground flaxseed, adding ground chia seed to help with digestion and skin and fur, adding extra fatty organs into his diet or her diet. We don't discriminate. Any cat.
The cat's diet.
The cat diet. Adding offal chicken livers and hearts are my go-to for cats to add into their diets when they need more nutrition as they get older. I think those are really, really good. Joint supplements are the big one, because they're going to have those issues keeping better track of their teeth. So anything that is a good scrubber for their teeth as they especially get older. As for Tiki Cat has a dry food. Pluribus. Thank you. Burt Ward, Robin at a con years back, and we ended up talking about his Gentle Giants dog food brand as he was consoling a mom who recently lost her old dog. Oh, and thank you for that. Thank you to Moon and to Pluribus. That's not it. So if you see his thing, EUP, E Pluribus Unum is what he used to. E Unum Pluribus is what he used to be called. And so I just still call him Pluribus as if it still says that. Makes sense.
I got a lot of people like that. Change their names, so I just call them what I did before because I have no memory.
Right. She is on joint already. I'd like to get some fish-based wet food too, and she does get some fresh meat as well. So that's excellent, Sam. So yeah, I would say just grind into whatever foods like the joint supplements you give her. I would put like ground up chicken hearts and liver into that, and that will really help out with just her overall health. As for fish wet food, honestly, either cat person or Tiki Cat. Tiki Cat has by far the highest quality wet food. But Esteban, Tiki Cat has a dry food as well. And I will say this, if your cat is used to less healthy food, no shade, but if your cat is used to foods, what? You want to come up? Come on. Well, excuse you burped. Up. Up. You won't come up on your own, huh? You won't come up on your own? You're just going to sit there? What? Hop. See, if I don't do it, he gets pissy. He wants me to do it for him. But I would honestly say, yeah, Tiki. Go Tiki. And you wouldn't have a problem. You won't have a problem, in my opinion. But so I was talking about, whoops, I had my ADHD moment. Cats that are used to crappier foods, just the same as people who are used to crappier food. If they're used to having McDonald's, they're used to having those high flavor foods. When you go to a more natural food, at first their flavor is dulled because they really do make a lot of that pet food the same way they make fast food for humans. They make it tastier. No worries, she's highly food motivated. We'll eat literally anything. Perfect, Sam, so you're good. But nice. With Esteban, what I'm telling you is, if you had anything that had a high corn or soy content in it, that's more than likely why your cat doesn't want to change his diet. Excuse me, guys. That one attacked me out of nowhere. That's more than likely why he won't eat it. I am a fan of the starvation diet, and what that means is I'm going to put that food in front of you, old man, and you're either
eat it or die.
Exactly. You're going to eat, you're going to die. Like, there's your
God.
point.
I have a food-related story to tell now.
Tell.
So, my first litter? Second litter? First litter. My best friend took one of my puppies because, she fell in love with him. He's a great puppy. Of course, all my puppies are great. That's a separate issue.
No bias.
But, we used to, before we figured out Grace's chicken allergy, we'd give them a little bit of cooked chicken every night. Just to, encourage the whole go into your kennel thing. And so I told her, at night, give him just a little bit of chicken and give him his dog food and blah, blah, blah. She kept him on the same brand I'm feeding him. But she calls me one day and says, Lindsay, this dog will not eat his dry food. And I'm like, that sounds weird. Why won't he eat his dry food? What is he okay? Have you taken him to the vet? What is he eating? Oh, no, he just won't eat his dry food. I'm feeding him like a chicken breast at night. And we're talking a puppy. We're talking he's maybe at the time 6 months. He is about 4 pounds. He does not need a full chicken breast, even if that was the only thing. Yeah, no, I'm talking this girl on that tiny little dog was going through an entire roast chicken every week for a 4-pound puppy.
Not even so when we say roast chicken, are we talking like a rotisserie chicken, the $5 ones from Walmart, or are we talking like a roast chicken?
No, we're talking like the $5 ones from Walmart, but that's still way more chicken than that dog need, because a full chicken would last my 5 dogs here at home a week. Well, not a week. It would last them almost 2 weeks, actually.
And that's giving that dog a lot of dark meat on his own. Oh my gosh.
So she's telling me, well, he won't eat it. And so I've been worried. And so I've been giving him green beans to go with it. And I'm like, Nicole, you are feeding him an entire meal. No wonder he's not eating his dry food. What the hell?
My kid would eat the vegetables. I don't understand why they ate the whole chocolate cake.
Like, what do you expect? He's waiting because he knows you're going to feed him this giant ass meal at the end of the night. Why would he want the dry food?
And guys, if you think your animals are not going to, when I tell you, never think that your animal doesn't, they are going to wait.
Oh yeah.
It's the 99 no's, okay? So my mom's, of all things, pediatrician, okay? So Okay, listen to this, right? My mother went to the best pediatrician in the country who happened to be in Rhode Island at the time. He worked for women and infants and Hasbro Children's Hospital. And he was one of the best pediatricians in the world, especially in the country. And he was talking to my mother. And he said, children aren't stupid. He said, if you tell them no 99 times, but on the 100th time you say yes, they will wait for that. And that doesn't matter. Kid could be 3 months old, kid could be 3 years old, kid could be 30 years old. It's going to happen. Well, I, being the Mensa candidate that I am, in this case it was a Mensa move, I took this exact same method to animals. Guess what, guys? They're not dumb. They know exactly. Exhibit A. He knows I will always pick him up.
Yep.
He knows. He knows I don't like him. He has absolutely got me trained on this, but that's because mutually it's beneficial. I love holding him. He never used to let me, so of course I accept it. My child also was born with asthma, so I don't know if that's the cause. Well, that means he has a smelling issue. And it also means that you might need to lessen how much food he eats. Wet food as a whole might make his esophagus uncomfortable because of the asthma. You might want to try some kind of steaming treatment for him. Put him in near a humidifier without any eucalyptus or any essential oils. Just
no, don't ever.
Just plain humidifier. See if that helps his asthma, and then try to feed him wet food.
Another trick is to trap him in the bathroom while you're taking a shower.
Yes, that helps too. Now, here's a method that is very rough. Yeah, his mouth hurts too much. His teeth are terrible. But take a cat. This is very effective with kittens because kittens tend to have a hard time eating. You take that wet food, you pry open their mouth, and you take your finger and you swipe the wet food on the roof of their mouth. This is disgusting, I know, but guess what? They'll eat. And also, and this is what my rescue friends have done, they take the cat's face and they literally smush it into the food. And I know it sounds rough, but you know what? When you need that animal to start eating, you have to take rough, ideas. Because cats very much rely on senses of smell. That is because, again, they are obligate carnivores, so they are also predators. Predators are much less trusting than most other animals. So that's why dogs tend to be more trusting in what they're going to eat than cats are. Because dogs are not obligate carnivores, they're also scavengers. So they are omnivores, so they are more likely to have to just try whatever's on the ground. So oh my God, shut up.
Someone really wants your attention.
It's my Facebook. So I still belong to an infertility group. And I help mod it sometimes, although not as well as I used to. And that's the infertility group talking. So I just exited out of Facebook. Hopefully that
solves it. Yeah.
Apparently not. I wonder if I can
click close.
Oh, it's closed. But apparently, okay, let me see if I can do something about this.
You have Messenger open somewhere?
Turn off all notifications. There we go. Shut up. Anyway.
Who wants to hear that noise all the time anyway? God damn.
I don't mind. This was something that happened when I was in Texas, okay? So Stephen Kent, if you guys never heard of him, you should definitely give him a follow. Stephen Kent's amazing. Okay, but I don't know anyone here does. So I was bunking across from Stephen and his wife in the opposite bedroom the first night. And I was exhausted. And so when I got into bed, I put my phone on the side of the table, on the side of the bed like I always do, and I went to sleep. The next morning, I came downstairs, and it was like 10. I had gone through all of my morning ritual, gone to the bathroom, put on my makeup, came downstairs, da-da-da-da-da. Steven walks up, and he puts his hand on my shoulder. He goes, Starson, because he didn't know my name yet at the time. He said, Starson, I love you. You're a fantastic person. He said, if I hear your fucking phone go off one more fucking time, I'm gonna break it in half and throw it out a window. And I was like, see, because, and one of the perpetrators is in the chat. Hi, Edie. I have about 5 people, 2 of them being the worst offenders, and I have no problem with it. But when I'm at a dinner or something, and sometimes I can't turn off my phone, it's when it becomes a problem. They will send 30 to 40 reels a day on Instagram. And because they're a couple of hours behind me, sometimes we're talking 1, 2 in the morning, my phone is blowing up. And it's the Kim Possible ringtone, which is, and it's going over and over and over and over. So I have my phone on silent the rest of the time. So after that week in Texas, nobody heard from me. Oops. Let me see. Little Fox says, hi, Star Son and Mrs. Horror. How are you doing? Also, you talking about smashing the cat's face in order for them to eat. It reminds me of a scene from Evangelion where Asuka forces Senji to eat his food. I don't like Evangelion, but I will say I can see that scene in my head. Not because I've seen it, but because I can just imagine.
It's the best.
A lot of that.
Not making them starving them is also the best method for children.
Right. So. My cat literally ate her antibiotics smushed into her wet food. I'm not sure there's anything she won't eat as long as it's got meat in it.
Cat's special.
Let's see. That is a what's the stitch, right? But hi, Edie, and yes, you. She is. I love Edie to death, but she is such a little shit, which is one of the things I love her. She and I share some of the strangest voice messages back and forth, usually about Henry Cavill.
T-Rex arms?
Huh?
T-Rex arms?
How dare you about Henry Cavill? That is a beautiful man. No, she just thinks his hands are
tiny arms.
He's got beautiful arms. It's his hands she has a problem with. I think he's beautiful. Listen.
His arms are so short.
This is racism. This is racism. Thank you, monster.
It's not his hands, it's his whole arms. They're short. You look at him and he's tall.
Well, that's on the StarMorata show, everybody. You have a great night.
We're not coming back.
There are so many differences, but this is the end. All right, hold on. Where are your thoughts on The Rock? We're gonna be about animals tonight, guys. Let's talk about mating. What about The Rock?
He's okay. He's tall.
Jason Momoa?
I like the beard.
Okay. Name the famous guy you go hot for. Betsy's black.
I literally can't think of one.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I am definitely, when it comes to just the almighty mating, I think I enjoy looking at the menfolk. Very much so. Especially there's this photo of The Rock that really made me, like, before, for the longest time, I was like, he's okay. There was this photo of him with a beard. And I was like...
Did he have hair on his head?
Okay, Dwayne. Like, hold on. Let me see if I can find it, Zorro. I'm going to take my arm back again. Sorry, I know, a mean mommy. Let me see if I can find it, because I was like, okay. I got you. See, and I feel so bad tonight, because everyone said to me, I love watching the StarMorata show because you guys always stay on track. And we are so not staying on track tonight.
We always, if anybody's saying that to you, they're not watching the show. I mean, the first problem with that statement is they assume we have a track.
Like, we have some kind of, we never start out with an idea. We just
we show up and we start talking about animals.
This is actually the first time we showed up with any form of idea ahead of time.
Yeah.
And that's only because she found a pretty picture and a pretty video. And she's like, and we're talking, didn't even say anything. She just tagged me and I went, yes.
No, I just tagged her because it was cute. And I wanted to share it with her.
I like aminals. Let me see. Hold on. All I got is a naked face and no. Come on.
Just can't type in The Rock with a beard?
I can't. I'm only using one hand. It's my... Oh, there it is. Ew, there's all these photos of feet around him. I don't like that, but...
Feet?
What is with people with feet?
I don't know.
We objectifying men tonight? Yes. But see, I objectify equally. Okay? Look at this. This was the photo. And that just did something for me.
Yeah. I mean, I like more this bottom one down here. You can't see where that one. Yeah. That's more right my thing.
And I mean, come on. There's something about them, but this is disgusting. Like, why? Why? This is
especially with the foot in the ear. What the fuck?
I don't get it, and I feel like that's a Photoshop, and I'm just trying to figure out why anyone would do it.
Because they like feet.
Is this a new movie, guys?
What is it saying? Dwayne The Rock Johnson reacts.
I guess Hercules. But when is that from? 2014.
Disgusting
okay,
origin of his Hercules beard. Disgusting origin.
That looks old. Yeah, I don't want to know. Disgusting. What?
Is it?
What's the smell with the rocks is cooking? No idea who that is. I actually didn't know who Henry was until a month or so ago. Right. She said that on my stream. Here's the thing. I've got like heaps of nerds and weebs like me, and they were all like, what? Because he's like the king of nerds, Henry Cavill. Like, see, she don't even like him, and she agrees.
I just know. I mean, I don't necessarily consider him the king, but we all know I'm a hugely anti-authoritarian type person. And it bleeds over into everything. But I will say that in terms of he is definitely the most celebrity of nerds.
My thing is, like, when I say king, I don't mean he rules over us.
I know. It's just me. Because I'm psychotic, okay?
But at least she admits it, guys. But, like, this man, Henry Cavill, what I admire about him is, one, the reason why he keeps getting, like, ousted from being in these, major IPs is because he wants to stay so true to the IP that Hollywood doesn't like it. Because he's like, no, he's the actually. Like, he literally sits there and goes, actually.
On page.
If you look if you look right here to issue 394 of Thor versus Superman, like
I'm surprised there's no one here to crucify you for that. Jesus.
I want to see if they catch on. I want to see what they say. But yeah, it's like that's how he is. I mean, he makes his own D&D characters and he paints the models. He builds his own sets. And you know what, Edie, deny all you want, but weren't you a wee bit jealous of his wire work on his computer? Did you see it? Because he did a damn good job.
He did a good job.
Like, we're talking like this was like pinpoint. Daisy May, come here. Daisy.
I think he does D&D and Warhammer.
He does everything. And he's the new face of Warhammer. So, like, and it was so beautiful. He is a true nerd. And he still does all of, like, he doesn't tell anybody who he is. He still actively games online. He'll go and he'll play just regular everyday Call of Duty and other things. And he will LARP and he will go on and he does all these things, doesn't let anyone know who he is. And he still, I think he connects still with the same group of people before he got famous.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, that's why I call him the king, is like, because it finally happened, guys. One good looking nerd became famous and really he's living the dream.
And held to it. Didn't just turn his back on it all because he became rich and could sleep with the girls.
Oh, and that was the crazy thing. Like, he got canceled back in the day because people did not like that this handsome, good looking man also believed in traditional values. He wanted to court a woman. And he only just recently got a girlfriend, apparently.
He dated Tina Carano for a while.
Did he?
Yeah, he was actually canceled for a little bit because how dare he date that kind of woman.
So that means, guys, he might be secretly based. Whoa.
I don't know that it's that much of a secret. It just, he doesn't talk about it.
I hope so. Well, the Warhammer movie Henry gonna star better fall in line with the canon, or we will spill blood for the blood god.
I think he's aware of that.
Oh yeah, he's not only aware of it. That's how he got off of Witcher. Because and notice nobody talks about Witcher now because who's gone. At the end of Black Adam, which I'm sorry, I will stick to it. Black Adam was a good movie. You know what I liked about Black Adam? It was simple, it was fun, and I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed watching the bad guy get his ass beat. Yes, Esteban, it was good. And at the end, Henry Cavill came back for 5 seconds as Superman.
Yep.
And they were like, that was the soft announcement of, oh, I'm coming back. And he announced it on Instagram. And then like 2 weeks later, they ripped it out from underneath him.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Swinging back into the animal discussion, I don't know why doesn't me think of it. My boss, she won't spend money on almost anything else but food for the employees and herself. She went and she bought a bunch of oysters and clams. And when she popped open the clams, I realized they were quahogs.
Oh, really?
And I was like, ooh, because quahogs are very distinctive. Let me show you guys. Let me show you what I'm talking about. There's, if I'm wrong, because this is what I remember. Quahog. That's showing just regular clams.
Excuse me.
There's a difference between quahogs and whatchamacallit, regular clams. So the big thing about the interior of a quahog, what makes them distinct, is the purple inside of a quahog. So see this right here? Let me get this up. Hold on.
I was going to say, no, we can't see it.
I know you can't. I was like, see, it's right here. So, see that distinct purple line? You will only find that in Rhode Island clams, which is a breed called quahog. See? Cape Cod wampum shells. So, you will only see that purple. And it's a very deep, that is very much what it looks like.
Oh, yeah. No, that's very
she popped it open, and I saw that. I got very excited. Now, here's a fun fact. You can eat them raw.
Mm-hmm.
And when she popped it open, I've never done it before, but I missed home so much. I was like, let me do it. And when I ate it, got a big mouthful of seawater. I was not mad. I was not mad at all. And I ate it and I was like, oh, it tastes like home. It was so good. It was in some way Rhode Island food came to you. Right, Moon. 100%. It was so weird. See, because like, so in Rhode Island, if you go to the beaches, you find razor clam shells everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever eats them. Like, I never, have you, so, do you know what a razor clam is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so I had only seen them on the beaches. I didn't know you could even eat them.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 5 months ago, when I was visiting, this was before obviously I worked for her. I was visiting, and she pulled out this bowl filled with razor clams, and I was like, "You can eat those?" It's so good. When I tell you guys, if you ever get the chance, eat razor clams. The meat is so soft. Oh my God.
Though I don't recommend picking up the ones on the beaches. A lot of the times the reason they don't eat those is because they're not exactly in the best water, and clams are filter animals, so anything that's in the water is now in them.
That's why you should honestly let your clams sit in some water sometimes. Mm-hmm. They're alive, by the way, when you get... Fun fact, if you get clams and they're open, throw it out.
Oh, yeah. No.
But there was a lot of oysters that she had, and one of them that was hilarious. I said, "You're gonna kill a mommy," because this oyster had 2 little tiny baby oysters on it.
Aww.
And I was like, "You're gonna kill a mommy." She said, "Absolutely." Well, guess what was the one oyster she couldn't get open, guys? I said, "That mother's holding on to life. She's not letting her babies go." And let me see though. I want to see, because it wasn't just Let me see. Razor. Let me see if I'm right. Yeah. So that's what I was talking about. There was another clam. And I'm trying to think. It looks like a little shark fin. And I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. She had it, and I'd never seen it before. They look like a little triangle, and they've got a red tip. And I can't remember.
I think I almost had it in my head for a second there.
It's got
I know there's cherry stone, little neck.
Nope. Little necks are again a big thing in New England. Let's see.
Oh wow, I really actually did remember the name of that. Go me.
Right? We're sitting here trying to think of the damn clam. Razor clams, cherry stone, vanilla cockle, butter clams. Yeah, see, quahog and little neck and razors, those are all really big in New England. And in the top 11 clams to eat, quahog, little neck, and razor clams are the top 3, and I didn't know that.
That's funny.
Let's see.
Did you look at the cherry stone? I don't.
It's not. It's once I see it. Is it surf clams? I think it's surf clams. Hold on, let me. Ooh, Ipswich. I like that. Geoduck. Oh my god, geoducks. Them. If you
special.
Oh my god, I don't know if I can even bring it up without feeling dirty. But if you guys want to see a funny look up a geoduck. I think Ipswich, they don't even have a picture of them. They only have them fried. Okay, what? I know, Zorro. Hold on. Come here. Let me see. I think it's
surf clam is red.
I think it's the surf clams that I'm thinking of. That was it. Let me see. Yes. Okay. Hold on. It is a surf clams. So let me get that picture up for you guys. Surf clams are really unique looking. Not on the outside. See, on the outside, no different. But then
they're just kind of plain.
Look at how weird that is. Oh my Bing, that's why it looks so weird. Oh, just for sanity's sake, I gotta go to Google.
How'd you get on Bing?
Because Microsoft Edge does this to us. Even when I try to type in whatchamacallit, and I'm sorry, I don't know if you guys can see, I'm typing with one hand because Zorro decided to get back up. Yeah, look at this. Imagine seeing that, and she brought them out, and she's like, try one. Okay? I was so ready to try one. And then I saw all these giant slices of chili peppers. I'm like,
ooh.
I said, I can't. She goes, why? And I'm like, because it's spicy.
Aww.
I was so sad. So the next time she makes them, she always gets mad at me. She's like, oh, you're such a baby mouth. Yes, I am.
Little Fox apparently did not understand that a gooey duck is not a duck.
It's not a duck. No, you're right. A geoduck is it a sea dong? I like that. That's good.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's twoo. What was I gonna look up next? There was something I wanted to show you guys next. I like showing all these weird foods.
Funny thing is, we're still technically talking about animals.
We are. Well, that's how I knew we'd stay on topic. We'd be on topic. I'm just trying to think. There was something else I was about to show you guys, and then oh, that's right. So now going into this, let me show you something really. This is something that sits on my mind a lot. So this isn't a Steller sea cow. This is a manatee, obviously.
Mm.
This is a Steller sea cow. Do you guys know how long a Steller sea cow got?
No idea.
That is a direct comparison.
Holy shit. It's a big critter.
Stellar sea cows died out. Here's why.
Looks right.
They were that easy to kill. They were not very fast. They were very trusting. And they just kind of sat there. Look, there's a bone of one.
Sounds like a manatee.
Yeah. Except they were out in the open ocean in cold climates. It was even worse. And they made it even slower than manatees. Like, there's a manatee in comparison to a Stellar sea cow.
Yeah.
I'm very sad.
There's a lot more food there.
Oh, yeah. I'm very sad that they went extinct because they went extinct purely because of human predation. And look at how cool this creature was. Wouldn't you like to have seen this in the ocean?
He's really pretty.
They were very sweet and calm creatures, again, just like a manatee. And they had a whale's tail rather than the rounded tail that manatees have.
Right.
The things I think about, like, this is something that randomly comes up, although their faces were a little odd.
Well, humans are definitely the most invasive species.
We very much are. And there are days where I just wonder. I wonder who's gonna go next.
You can always take comfort in the fact that even though we are the most invasive species, even if we weren't around, species would still be dying out.
And that's something else. Like, every time I hear, I think we talked about this before, but every time someone says we're in a mass extinction, you're always in a mass extinction event. There's literally, there could be a species going extinct right now that we never had any interaction with, that nothing we've done has caused any problem with, and it's still going, we'll never know about it.
More than likely, more species have died than we will ever know about.
They've already said that. And the problem with it is that, yes, I know there's a fight going on. Someone just chased somebody. I don't know who. We only know about like an eighth of all dinosaurs that ever existed. We like to think we know a lot, but
we don't know shit.
We don't know shit. We really don't. There are so many loopholes and issues and problems that we have. For instance, we only just recently realized that dinosaurs lived in the Arctic and that they were truly warm-blooded. There's so many things that we just really don't know, guys, and we have a really bad habit of thinking we do. Do you think all animals can be an invasive species?
Oh, God.
That's a sad fact.
Ants absolutely can be.
Yes, any animal. So what makes them invasive is not, when we think invasive, we're thinking that it's an attack animal or something that destroys things purely out of spite or whatever. Invasive means it's not native to where it is. So horses are technically an invasive species. Pigs and hogs are invasive species in America. What is it? It's not apple. There are many plant species that are invasive, like Japanese maple are invasive species here. And
bamboo.
Yes, bamboo is an invasive species. Although gypsy moths. Does anybody know the history of gypsy moths?
I think we've talked about them before, but I don't know if we talked about their history.
I think you and I have talked about it. I don't think we've talked about it here. So fun fact, guys, gypsy moths were lab made. They are not a natural creature. They were created. Bradford pears, yes. And recently, I have had a lot of friends. I personally don't give a shit. I like the way they look. But a lot of people have been telling me how they stink and this, that, and the other. Bradford pears are very invasive, and even though they're pretty, they're a type of tree. But gypsy moths, they were made by a man who was trying to make a American silkworm. And he did not keep them locked up. He was not able to eradicate what got out. And that is why you see those piles of silk in the trees. They are not natural. They have no natural this was in
predators.
They have no natural predators. This was in the 18. Let me double check. Let me get the full thing. Very true, Star Sun. For example, the way we thought how dinosaurs looked has changed so much.
Oh, yeah.
So much. And we still could have the bone structure wrong, guys.
We've got to remember they're guessing where all these things are. And for the most part, they have no idea what they look like on the outside.
Have you
They're
seen
just
trilobite beetles?
totally guessing.
Oh, I'll have to look that up. Let me get the but exactly, like, I get a lot of people that sit there and say, well, we can tell because of where the muscle's held and everything. And I'm like, are you sure about that? Are you sure you can tell? Because they're only guessing where the muscle is held. You can't see the actual anchor points for the muscle on the bone because these bones are millions of years old.
I mean, there are occasionally hints, like, I mean, you obviously have a hole in the femur for the tendon, but you can get a general idea, but you can't honestly assume that we're remotely right because there's just not enough actual contextual information to say for a fact this is what it was.
Let me see. I'm trying to type things in and Zoro's not making it easy.
Of course not.
How did the gypsy moth get to the United States? The gypsy moth was brought to North America in 1869 by Mr. L. Trovelot in a misguided attempt to breed hardy silkworm. Some escaped, and the first recorded defoliation by gypsy moth in the United States was recorded in 1889 in the street trees in Trovelot's neighborhood in Medford, Massachusetts.
Yeah, we lost actually up here back in the 50s or 60s, I want to say. They ended up losing a lot of trees to the Japanese beetle because
another invasive species.
Those are hugely invasive. And this used to be considered one of the most well-planned cities in the country or in the world because of, I mean, they literally set out a really nice little grid system. Every few blocks you had a park, and those parks were trees. And they lost a lot of trees.
Well, this is actually leads to, I don't know if we've talked about it, but if we haven't, we should right now. So, do you guys know why they're trying to bring back the woolly mammoth?
Because they're stupid?
No, there's actually a real conservation reason. They have realized, like the Dust Bowl and everything else, that we are missing the large fauna that took care of the large plains of areas in our country. And the only reason the woolly mammoth died out was us. Because even during the time of the Egyptians, we still had woolly mammoths. So woolly mammoths, by all technicalities, modern humans with full civilizations, and yes, they're planning on re-releasing them into Alaska, into Siberia, and they're kind of doing it right now with the European buffalo. So fun fact, there was a species of buffalo that was nearly extinct, and I think they had like it down to like 15 individuals in the entire species. It's now numbering over 10,000. And so what they are doing is they are slowly reintroducing it to rework the European forests and to help it out. So they're trying it now with the buffalo, and their intention is to do this with the woolly mammoth because they feel that there are things that humans have screwed up that will only get fixed if we reintroduce what was in terms of time not so long ago. And the face you're making is exactly the thought. I'm like, on the one hand, I'm for it because it was not that long ago, and it does help nature. On the other hand, this is a creature that is no longer around, and now we are going to have not just a large animal, we are going to have a very large, one of the largest animals that'll be on our planet, wandering around in the American plains. And we're going to be interacting in a way we've never had before. You know, I understand, like, when we brought back the buffalo, because that was from the 1700s to the 1800s, there was
and they hadn't totally gone extinct yet.
They hadn't gone extinct yet. But it is playing God, but it is, like, I'm very torn. I am extremely torn on it, because on the one hand, I like the idea because it does make sense. It's not introducing a species that is unknown to the area. It is a species that instinctually will have a lot of what it needs, quote unquote, to take care of the planet where it's supposed to be properly. Dodo birds are actually, it would not make, they're trying to do it just because, again, this is a population that we killed off. If you go the moa was another one that we killed off. The dodo bird was one that we killed off. I think the Stellar sea eagle was another one we killed off. There was also a large eagle. I can't remember where it was. Talking about this idea of natural resources classes, primary degree. And so I will say to you, Sam, I am very stuck because on the one hand, go ahead, Hara, because you've got a lot of opinions. I want to hear them.
I'm not gonna lie. I can understand where the desire to bring it back comes from, but I'm also really firmly of the opinion that the planet does not need us to fix it. It will fix it on its own, and most things we do just fuck it up worse.
I don't disagree. I feel like this is kind of like,
I can understand the desire, but still, when it comes to the mammoth, it might have been not that long ago. It was also long ago at the same time.
Right.
It's not like, and then you have the fact, you talked about them having the extinctual thing. Well, part of bringing them back, I imagine, is not going to be breeding two mammoths together. I imagine there's probably going to be a large elephant involved in there somewhere.
So yeah, they are. What they're doing is they're mixing genetics, because they have found, I think it's I forget what species of elephant it is that's most closely related to the woolly mammoth. So genetically, it's going to carry a lot of those predispositions. So it's going to be more easy. There's 3 separate companies. And Sam can tell me if I'm right or wrong. As far as I know, it's a bit controversial in resource management too. Exactly. So I'm stuck. I think if you're going to do it for a zoo or just for an experiment, on the one hand, it is interesting to do and it can open up new avenues, and I don't entirely dislike that. I think if you're going to have it on a closed in a Jurassic Park type thing, like a what's the word I'm looking for? A preserve where it's gated in, these animals can't get out. I don't see anything wrong with that, but we have to remember, this is a big, big thing. Unlike modern elephants, who for the most part do not have to fight off humans, all of woolly mammoth's instincts towards humans will be, they want to eat me.
Elephants do have conflicts with humans, and they have had to fight off humans.
Right. But I'm talking there is no positive, with elephants, there are positive and negative things, and we've been able to coexist. We have no idea, for instance, with donkeys. Okay, donkeys are a perfect example of this. For donkeys, almost any dog-like creature, it's on site. Donkeys will take a coyote by the head, swap it around a few times, and dislocate its life from its body. This is a natural instinct. This is ingrained into them. We have never interacted. There's no modern human. We didn't even know about the woolly mammoths that were on that island around the Egyptian time until the last 10 years. So this is a matter of, we have no idea.
I'm not even concerned about how they're going to interact with humans. I'm wondering how the animals who have evolved past having that creature there, how the flora and fauna that have evolved past having that creature there, how all these other things that people are really taking into consideration are going to react to that. I don't think that it's a good idea.
I agree. And I was saying, they've claimed most of the fauna, not the fauna, the flora, most of the flora is almost identical to what it was back during the Ice Age. So there's a couple of plants that don't exist anymore, but the grass, the trees, most of the grasslands are similar in terms of species that were there. And it's that they're not having an easy time, whatchamacallit. They're not having an easy time
probably replanting because it
replanting and propagating. Yeah, exactly. They said that this is a thing in nature that it's missing a piece. And so this is the problem we keep trying to fix, but we can't fix because we're not designed for it. And so I get that. I had another sound coming out of my throat and I had to stop it. Okay, so hold on. Sam is throwing some stuff out there. Let's see, because she's apparently studying this. They've moved buffalo and cattle in similar ways to how they would naturally and gotten good results. Of bringing back extinct animals could lead to who knows what. I agree. And that's why I'm kind of torn. And we also have to keep in mind animal and human interactions and public opinion affects a lot of what research management can do, for better or worse. And the thing is, right now, I do believe that curiosity will absolutely kill this cat. I think humans are going to want to see that woolly mammoth more than they're going to want to say, well, should we? Because for every person that sees Jurassic Park, there's another one that says, well, when are we bringing the dinosaurs back? Even after seeing the film. So, you know, the only justifiable reason would be to bring up the mammoths is to serve them on the grill. Jam on!
And I'm not going to lie, that's my other concern, because as soon as you bring back an extinct animal, there's going to be people who want its head on their wall, who want a piece of whatever it is, who want a skin, who want a rug. And how long before you get into that whole, well, we're breeding this animal because, you know, it's kind of tasty. Which, I mean, I'm not necessarily against, but...
And that's the thing, like there are breeding programs, and there's buffalo that you can buy, and you know, so they have these things.
We have buffalo farms up here,
right? And so I know Montana's a big one for it. BK will introduce the Mammoth Whopper, and it's real mammoth. It's true, though. It's true. And so it's like, you know, these are things that we're thinking about. And, you know, this actually leads into, I think, the last topic we should cover for today, just because we're both a little tired and I don't want to keep us on till trophy hunting versus population/food hunting.
You know, it depends on where it is. A lot of these countries use trophy hunting to fund their population control. The fact that we here in the U.S., the pinnacle of life, the absolute 1% of the 1%, even if you're living on the streets in many cases, I think that we have the room to tell another country, no, you can't do that, when you don't have to worry about that mad elephant over there running through your town.
Right.
When you could actually get someone to pay you for the ability to kill that elephant and not only save your town, but potentially help the actual herd. Because
and see, I don't disagree. What I'm talking about is capsule hunting. So what capsule hunting is, when you go bowling, you know, you're going to walk in, you're going to grab your ball, you're going to throw it down that aisle, and you're going to hit a pin. Capsule hunting is when you go, you pay a premium, they stick a lion in a small pen and you shoot it.
That's not hunting.
And that's trophy. Well, that's a lot of trophy hunting, and that's part of the trophy hunting industry. I personally don't believe in trophy hunting. I think trophy hunting is absolutely barbaric. I think if your only goal is to say I killed the animal, especially, you know, go back 200 years ago when pretty much it was only a bow and arrow and a musket, you know, okay, fine. You got a trophy because you actually worked hard. Today, I've watched trophy hunting. You've got computers, you've got different pheromones, you've got all these different things, you have these high-powered stuff, you're sitting in a blind, you're doing all this stuff. The animal has no chance. None. So if you sit there and you want to brag to me how you took down this giraffe that, you know, like the black giraffe that got killed, and I hate when people want to kill the rare morphologies in the wild. I think it's even more retarded. But when you sit there, it's a pussy little bitch boy hunting. Exactly.
Yeah.
The only time I have found trophy hunting admirable, my dad knew a guy that went with a regular old school bow and arrow, and he hunted grizzlies. At that point, sir,
you want to meet a grizzly with an A15, so an AR-15.
Imagine meeting it with. So no. And so, you know, you do that, you know what, man, you are truly going for the trophy, and he would still eat the meat. Now, what you're talking about, what you were saying, that's not technically trophy hunting. That is population management, and that is extermination of a dangerous individual. And
they often do sell them out to trophy hunters, though.
Right, and that's different. Like, and I can see that. See, yeah, capsule hunting is for people who would be ripped apart by lions in the open. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in hunting if it's not, fair game.
And that's my point. Like, I don't like most hunting now as a result of that. Do I think that people like hog hunting? totally for it. 100%. They're an invasive species. They are very destructive. They are very
dangerous,
violent creatures. And, you can end up destroying an entire farm just from one small herd. I know one giraffe that was hunted because it was set to be culled away because it was too old to reproduce, but was killing calves. So they let someone, perfectly fine. It was dangerous, as StarMorata was saying. That's beneficial to the herd. It's beneficial to everybody. And,
yeah, I think the problem is a lot of people will confuse that kind of thing with the capsule thing, because that's not, I mean, you're right, they're not the same thing. So I tend to listen more about the other ones and people who want to end it because it's terrible. You're making them, no, you're literally using you're creating a market to help people out and to even help the animals. And I mean, it's one of those crazy things that really irritates me sometimes. So, no, capsule hunting is definitely a big no thing. I mean, up here we have a lot of people who rely on hunting deer for part of their meat throughout the year.
I'm totally for, because white-tailed deer, they are very, very widespread. There's a lot of them, and people die every year from them. And it's like Sam is saying, with pigs, you've got a lot of wild hogs out here in America. These are not native to America, so they have almost no natural predators. A lot of the natural wild hunters out here cannot face them. They're much tougher. And these animals instinctually don't know how to face them off. There's one public opinion that makes it difficult to control because people think that babies are cute and get mad when you kill them. And I agree on that as well. I definitely understand, iguanas. So like killing iguanas, I totally understand and am for. Killing snakehead fish, totally am for. These are things where don't the funds from the hunts go. Yes, and it's just like exactly what Hara was saying. I understand. If when you do this, you go and you buy the respective things, you go out into the bush with minimal help, because that's my thing. In my opinion, all that animal has is its teeth and its hooves or claws. You've got radar. You've got tracking. You've got helicopters. You have pheromones. You have high-powered guns. You've got night vision. No. If you want the trophy, then go earn it. That's my only thing. If you're going to do that, don't do it like a wimp. Do it. Put yourself on even ground what you're hunting. Because my dad doesn't hunt. And my dad's been asked numerous times, and they'll say, why? And my dad said point blank, I know what it's like to be on the other side of that gun. And my dad, because he did it for 13 months, he said he does not see he finds it very cowardly as a whole to hunt. He says that unless you're doing it for food, there's really no need to, which I agree. And again, what you're talking about, what you mentioned, to me, that's still in the same token of food, because they're taking out a unfavorable member of the herd and or pack that is causing damage. I don't know how lucrative the hunting industry is compared to how it used to be. Go back to the 1800s, early 1900s, very lucrative. Today, it's only, honestly, for a small minority of people. Like, for instance, they've actually proven the wolf hunts are really not effective anymore. They said that, you really shouldn't be doing them. It's what would be a better idea is to catch and relocate packs of wolves.
Because they do a lot of that up here.
Right. Like if you look in the Yellowstone Park, once they reintroduced gray wolves, Yellowstone got better. This is, again, circle right back into it. This is why they want to bring in the woolly mammoths, because they said just reintroducing the gray wolf after hundreds of years of it being out of Yellowstone started producing more flowers. More animals were able to reproduce it was a whole thing. And so that is where, that's what they say. There's people paid to kill lionfish in the East. Yes, in North Carolina, lionfish are a big issue and apparently delicious.
Really?
Oh yeah, they are an invasive species.
I know they're invasive. They're quite annoying, I guess is a good way to put them.
It's just they're hard to catch, and then you don't want to get stung by the
barb,
barbs. So when I went to the Science Museum, fun fact, guys, most almost all of the museums in Raleigh are free. And the Science Museum, let me see if I can get this. Or you're gonna have to get down again, buddy. Come on. See, I have to do this now because if he gets so comfy. Come on. Good boy. Let me get this up. You guys, I think you're gonna like this. Ow, I don't know if you see him stretching out my back because he hurt my back so bad. Because I had to sit at an angle for him.
Yeah.
And he makes it so difficult. Let me get this up. I gotta show you this, guys. Do you have a museum you like in your area, Har?
Unfortunately, no. The closest one is a 3 or 4 hour drive.
Ugh. This one's a 2-hour drive. No. Yes? I think it's 2 hours. To get here, I believe, is 2 hours from my house. So I have gone here several times. It is really cool.
I can also say your 2 hours is a little different from my 2.
Is this the right one? I think it's the right one. Durham. Excuse you?
Raleigh, Durham, yeah.
Because there's not really any outdoor. And this kind of looks familiar. Yeah, it's the right one. All right, let me see. But this, there's no farmyard. What are they talking about? I don't think I'm in the right one. Let me see. Yeah, no, this isn't the right one. Let me see. Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences. This is the one. This is the one. There it is. This is the right one. So this is the museum I've gone to. I've gone several times. And let me tell you something. The last time I went was in 2017, and they were building some exhibits. Come on. Permanent exhibitions. Like, and it's completely free to go in here, guys. Like, this place is so cool. Let me see. Where's the special ones? What's going on right now? So, Challenging the Deep, James Cameron's Life Before Dinosaurs. They had this really cool one. This was the last time I went. I don't remember this, though. But let me tell you something. Going to this, it's such a cool museum. And I'm trying to see. I wanted to show you guys. Can anyone hear that weird noise?
Just the music.
That's so odd. I'm hearing a high-pitched noise and I can't tell what it is. Either way, this is a really cool museum. If you guys live anywhere near Raleigh, you guys need to go. I think the Science Museum is free, and the Museum of Natural History, this one right here, is just, it's beyond cool. It is worth the trip. Why do you keep doing this? So the Naturalist Center, I love going to this one. I wonder if it'll let us see it.
The Naturalist Center at the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences is a hands-on, interactive space for you to explore science.
It's really neat, actually. We didn't have stuff like this when I was growing up, and it's the first time I've gotten a chance to be in here.
It's hands-on, and it's really fun because most things you don't get to touch with this one.
See this girl just like idly throwing around a pelt in the back.
You actually see what happens. You can do a lot of stuff in here. Like there's microscopes you can look into, certain stuff. Those tables are like such green, awesome tables.
In case you guys want to handle a squirrel.
Yeah.
But overall, guys, I just want to show you that because I will say is look in your own area and see if any museums are free. This is what I like to do in my spare time. When I get a chance, I like to find out what museums I can go to. So now, which ones have you ever gotten to go to any of them, Har?
No, I haven't actually gone to any of the museums out here. I grew up with a natural history museum, so we went went there all the time. We actually spent the night in it twice with my Girl Scout troop.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was the Natural History Museum in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I want to go to the one in New York.
I mean, that one in Albuquerque was really cool. They had actually, you'd walk in and they had a moving T-Rex that would come down and scared the shit out of people once or twice. But yeah, I mean, they had a bunch back when I was that age, I was during like the dinosaur craze. We're talking even before Jurassic Park, but it was the dinosaur craze when you had, the Walking with Dinosaurs TV on show on TV and all sorts of stuff going on.
Because I remember there was this in Boston. My dad, because I was obsessed. So you remember those books, and they do still have them now, kind of, but your parents could sign up and they would just put your name in the book. So they would put your family's name, they put your name, and it was written for you.
Mm-hmm.
Dad got me one where I met a dinosaur.
Aww.
And so when Jurassic Park came out, I've always loved dinosaurs. Like, I remember one of my oldest memories of a movie theater ever. We were in the theater in my hometown. It was a really tiny theater, and there was no one else there. Mom took us during a time when there was no one there, and I very distinctly remember the T-Rex scene when breaks out of the enclosure. They're chasing it, and I'm standing in the middle of the aisle, and I was jumping up and down because I could barely contain my excitement at the film, and it's to this day, I don't care how bad the Jurassic Park movie is. I want to see it. Like, I love it so much. And it's a little more difficult now because I have the dogs. With cats, it's a little easier. With dogs, you really can't leave them. You can't go early in the morning and then come back late at night without someone watching your dogs for you. And so I need to find, if I ever want to do that again, go to the Science Museum and go all day like I really want to, I'm going to have to find someone to watch my dogs for the day.
Yeah. It's either that or finding a boarder you trust. So
right. You're usually not allowed to handle pelts. Right. I went, honestly, Sam, and I've gone to that museum several times. I don't recall being allowed to handle any of it. So I don't know if that's something you have to sign up for. I don't know if that's something you have to get permission to do. I don't know if there's certain times a day.
I remember when I was young and we went to the Natural History Museum, there was actually like a literal children's area that was interactive like that. I mean, they had fossils you could touch, and they had like this giant fish tank that you could, you were allowed to put your hands in and play around with, and all sorts of other interactive things that you were allowed to do. But they were more geared towards children. So yeah, you may have just missed the area, but
like right now the closest thing I have two things that are close to me. I have the North Carolina Zoo, which isn't too far from one of the other restaurants that my friend owns, but she doesn't utilize it. She rents it out to another chef. And at the local mall, Concord Mills, they have a sea life aquarium. Is it phenomenal? No, it's about the size if you went to any large mall that has a oh god, begins with a B, and I can't remember. It's a outlet store. I can't remember what it is. What is
Burlington Coat Factory?
Burlington Coat Factory. Okay. Yes, queen. So think of a large Burlington Coat Factory. That's the size of area this sea life took up. And so you don't really get to see a lot. I want to go to the Georgia Aquarium, but everyone's like, "Oh, it sucks," and I'm like, "It has whale sharks."
Oh, that'd be real cool.
How can anything that has whale sharks suck? But it is expensive. We're talking like you go, it's $100 per person.
Oof.
Yeah,
that is
so
costly.
I'm like, yeah, and this is again something where I would need to find someone who would babysit my dogs because I'm gonna be gone for at least a day, maybe two. because it's 4 hours from where I'm located. These are things that I want to go do, but you know. I wish they made a movie based on the original novel Jurassic Park movies that are based on. The novel was very dark and showed the true dangers of let's bring the dinos back. Honestly, I think they've done a very good job of doing that. I think people just don't, because I mean, especially with the newer ones, whether or not you like them, they really go in depth on what would happen if you had these dinosaurs. You know, you've got the black market, you have the meat trade, you have the pet trade, you have these animals getting in places where they really shouldn't be, you have illegal genetic breeding, testing, problems with the ecosystem.
Let's put it this way: if I can't keep two dogs from screwing each other, do you really have trust in the rest of humanity to keep these from fucking us over? I mean, really?
Actually, parking it cost me about $100 for me and my mom. When did you go, Sam?
Oh,
because like you had me at Whale Shark. Exactly, Rachel. It's expensive. I'm going to the George. Oh, so you're going in May? Yes, Sam. Because I don't think I'm going to get to go anytime before then. So you need to let me know. Because for the last few years, when I did have the opportunity to go, well, it was during the panty. I'm not going to go when half of the place is shut down. Dolphin encounter is about $60 a person. See? Now, sometimes during the day, they let the penguins wander around the entire I want to go for that. But you know what I really want to do? You know what I really want to do? At the North Carolina Aquarium, they have a not North Carolina Zoo. They have a safari.
Oh, it's like
it's on several like acres of land, and the elephants, the rhinos, all these animals just wandering around, and they can walk right up to the thing. And I want to go. I want to go.
I have been to the North Carolina Zoo, but that was back in 19. Oh God, my brother was 3. So like in the 1980s.
This is different. Let me tell you something. It is different. Like it's huge. Okay, first of all, it's gigantic.
No, it was huge back then.
Yeah, it's really cool. Very true. The movies do a good job of exploring all the different ways of bringing the dinosaurs back will impact society. I just wish the plots were more consistent. I don't disagree with that. But you need a dive. Yeah, and the thing is, I can't fit in a diving suit anyway, so it's a non-issue. Plus, I get claustrophobic. So
you want fun? You talk to a biologist about dolphins.
Oh my God.
Dolphins are fucking assholes.
Oh my God, my dad. So with his ex-wife. My dad was in Bermuda. This was in the 70s. And he was out on the dock minding his own business. Well, especially back then, the animal exploitation industry was huge. So the guy was trying to get my dad to get his new bride to play with the dolphins. So he signaled the dolphin without my dad knowing. A Vietnam veteran, by the way, only a few years out of Vietnam. The dolphin shot out of the water. This is like a 12-foot dolphin.
Oh, shit.
And it just shot out of the water, and it was dancing on its tail. Looking at my dad. My dad said he shit himself. He was like, he said, that motherfucker was huge. And you know, you don't think about that. You don't think about how big they are, but they're huge, and they're very dangerous.
They're assholes.
If you ever come out to SoCal, I'll book you a tour. Oh, I'm getting a lot of people asking me to travel out to California.
I mean, it's worth a visit. Cali's not that bad to visit. You just don't want to stay there.
I would love to swim with sharks. My dad used to be a scuba instructor. I plan to take classes when I lose more weight. Here's the problem. I can't sink.
You can't. You know what? I have to say, I'm not.
Your ass, because my ass floats. Literally, my physical ass.
I'm the same. When I was little in a bathtub, I'd float.
Right.
I'd boink. Just that much water, and if there's enough water to lift me, I will float. I cannot dive to save my life. Sheep, on the other hand, sinks like a fucking rock. We were in Orlando. We went to the pool. You know, I'm floating along. He's a great swimmer. But, he comes up next to me and like, why don't you float? And he's like, I can't. And so he laid down on his back and I put my hands under his shoulders. And I was the only thing holding him up. If I let go, he went right down.
See, now I have tried. I will cannonball to prove to people. And then I won't try to come up. I'll go into a ball. And guess what? My body will rotate and my butt
goes up. Yep.
And the first thing that comes to the surface is
your butt
cheeks bobbing. Yeah. And so when I dead man's float, my belly is so dense that it drags my stuff down. But I never have to think about. I only thing I have to think about is staying upright because my butt is so desperately trying to get that way. But if I dead man's float, when I tell you guys, I don't have to think at all. It's barely. Then we're going scuba. We're going as when? I love to swim with my dad's. Oh, then you're going on a scuba vacation once you lose weight. Monterey Bay in California has good whale watching. See, now that I want to do. I really want to go whale watching.
Me and my mother went on a bay tour in San Diego with my uncle, or my brother when he was living out there.
Right.
Worst sunburn we ever got because for two really fucking white women, we forgot to put on sunblock. At the same time, I learned that if you slice a potato and put it on the sunburn, it actually really helps.
Really?
It absorbs the heat out of the sunburn. I mean, it's the weirdest thing.
Collagen. Egg whites. Egg whites helps a lot because of the collagen in the egg whites.
Yeah. No, but the potato itself, just because of the starches and everything, it actually pulls the heat from your skin.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, I mean,
I'll do that next time.
So instead of peeling like we probably, I mean, we still peeled, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it was. But, sea lions. A lot of sea lions out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, and that's the thing where, whenever I'd swim, we'd always go to the beaches, but we never really got to, afford to go to Block Island. I really wanted to go to Block Island someday. I lived in Rhode Island for 26 years, and I never got to sail away on the Block Island ferry. And you don't know what I'm talking about. Please hold. I'm going to show you guys. I think maybe we'll end it after this, because I don't know about you, Hara, but I'm getting a little creepy tired. But let me see.
Sheep is also of the darker melanin typed little fox.
Block Island fairy song. Here we go. So if you guys are ready, hold on. This is, if you're from New England, specifically Rhode Island.
It gives me instant lift and volume.
No way.
Just look at that transformation.
If you live in Rhode Island, get a L'Oreal.
Sail away on the Block Island ferry. Take a trip back to carefree times. Leave today, Block Island awaits you. Just leave your troubles behind.
Come sail away with us.
There is not a Rhode Islander alive that doesn't know that song. Hold on, let me see if I can get to the very end of it. Hold on, let me see.
To the beauty of Block Island. Board one of our high-speed or traditional ferries in Newport or shop the many gift boutiques in Old Harbor. Dine at one of our surf at our magnificent beaches.
No.
Beaches, ferry, lie in the sun.
Sit back and relax in the sun.
Sail away on the Block Island ferry. Come with me to Block Island.
For information on group tours, go to blockislandferry.com.
Sail away on the Block Island ferry.
Or call us at 866-783-7996.
When I tell you, that's my childhood. Starts with troubles behind, aka your dogs.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I want to take a trip to Antarctica, whale watching and penguins maybe one day. Hey, Block Island, let's see white people. I should be. Listen, that's called all of Newport. All right. That's why, Rhode Island is full of a lot of mix and wops and Portuguese. It's a lot of Rhode Island. And then if you go to the inner cities, it's a lot of Dominicans, a lot of Puerto Ricans, Ecuadorians. He said, listen, yeah, exactly. Sheep overcame his melanation.
No, I mean, he could, from the one end of the pool we were in to the other, he could swim straight across.
I love swimming. I hate that it's so hard. Well, one, because it's terrible on my hair. and I am mildly allergic to chlorine. Mostly actual bleach, like getting in the pool is not so bad, but it is really damaging on your skin. And swimming in a public pool,
they way over chlorinate.
Not only that, but you're swimming in someone else's piss almost every time. And not only that, but there gets a lot of oil.
To be fair, anytime you're swimming, you're technically probably swimming in someone else's piss.
I'd rather swim in whale piss than human piss, okay?
I mean, there's human piss out there too.
I can't swim and I really need to learn. It's really not hard, but it is easier to learn as a child because you have to use more of your brain to learn as you get older. I just personally, I miss swimming, and there's going to be a fat joke somewhere in here, but I really do feel very drawn to the water. So I guess it must be a whale. I don't know. I'm drawn back to my home. I can't wait for our pool to open. I don't have one. And the thing is, now that I live out where the banjos play, I'm afraid to get a pool because of snakes.
Oh yeah, the snakes you get aren't the fun kind either.
No. We get the water moccasins, and I'm really not in that mood. No, I'm good. I just, I'll go to the YMCA when I can afford it. But people pee in public pools. Although I do like those some public pools that have that like color changing water. Whales are majestic as fuck, yes. But well, I don't know about you, Hara, but I think this has been an excellent installation.
Definitely enjoyed myself, and yeah, I think we're both tired.
My brain is like, I have to plan so much and catching up on so much. Once I've caught up, things will be easier.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, living in Biden's America, it's hard to catch up on anything. But we're trying.
As our money keeps getting worth less and less because they keep sending money that they created nowhere to Ukraine. Great.
Well, because they need it far more than we do. We who are going into a recession.
Oh, we're going into a recession because they keep... this is me listening to basic economics. Let's not get into that. We'll be on here for another hour.
Don't sit here and talk logic up on here. We don't do that kind of shit in America anymore.
Oh my God.
Dude, though. Okay, so just one more thing, guys. Even CNN called him out the other day.
Oh my God, really? It's getting bad.
CNN is calling out Biden in the words of saying, y'all know something's up. They fixing to take out somebody. So let me tell you, okay. Tides are shifting, all right. The tides are shifting. But guys, thank you so much. Here is all. Where can I point? There's all of our socials. So, most of our socials are Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Support dear Har. Is there anything coming up for you? Anything you want to announce or?
I will be finishing a short story to post on Locals here in the near future. I've had the idea in my head the last few days. I just had to stop because, you start with the idea for the story and then you start writing the story and you get to this point and it's like, I kind of like this idea better. And so I had to take that moment to reflect on which one I wanted to go. So I've just got to sit down and actually, the fun thing about the short ones is they don't take me that long to write when I sit down and write. So
well, it's cathartic. You have fun with it.
Yeah. And I like coming up with the little ideas and stuff. So that'll be out in the next day or two. If you visit my Locals, you can read it for free. You don't have to give me anything. But if you do stick around and support, I appreciate it. I will be on
Locals $1, right?
Huh?
It's as low as $1, right?
I think I don't know. I think it depends on what you're doing. I know I have the monthly subscription at $5, and you can get 2 free months if you just do it for the year for $50. So
for just
and I get most of that money to keep that in mind. If you know someone who has a Locals and they have other things, absolutely try to support them on Locals versus something else because they actually give more of the money to the creator.
So guys, if you love Hara, if you love how amazing she is and how talented she is, and if you enjoy her writing, please consider for the cost of 1 cup of coffee in your week, you can give her a whole month of support. So do that because we love her. We simp. We sit for the old job.
But yeah, other than that, I'll be on the midweek hump on Wednesday, and I don't know, I might stream something tomorrow. We'll see how I'm feeling. I haven't been doing enough lately. And then the rest of the week, Rumble and Twitch and gaming and stuff. So come by and see me.
As for me, you guys will see me tomorrow afternoon. Wish me luck, because since I am now below 400 pounds, didn't get to tell you guys that, I have, so my weight is fluctuating. I think because it's becoming towards my luteal phase. I'm about to be in the same phase that her dog was in. And so my weight is fluctuating, but I believe I'm down in the 80s now.
Congratulations.
Like already. That's why when I did like 4 hours of dishes the other night, I'm like, oh, that's how I'm losing the weight. So I'm going to try for donating plasma. So speaking of Biden's America, guys, if you're, this is no medical advice, but there's a way to earn cash. Always look at your local plasma places.
Unfortunately, I can't do that.
I thankfully can. We're gonna see once they do my blood. Who knows? But if you can, it's a great way to earn a little extra cash in the household.
Plus, it can save a life.
Exactly. Your plasma could make the difference between someone's life. But do make sure every week that you go, you donate both times, because they will throw out your plasma if you only go for the one shot instead of the two. Yeah, found that out, because the thing is, they need the whole amount. And so your first amount is just kind of like, preliminary. And then they do, I think, some testing on it. So then when you come back for the second one within that 7-day period, then they can actually utilize it for whatever medication. It's the whole thing. They explained it. Yeah, it's very cool. Maybe we'll explore it as a DNA thing next time. But other than that, guys, obviously I'm very busy this week, but you should see my new video out on Thursday. I will be on tomorrow at noon for Chat and Draw, and we'll talk more about my drama that happened then, because it's thankfully now wound down. It stopped at 24 million views. So other than that, guys, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Remember to get your animals fixed, and remember to tell people that are important to you that you love them. It was another bubble in my throat, and I didn't want to do that in the camera. Remember to tell people that are important to you that you love them and to be safe, and don't burp on microphone like I do. And otherwise, guys, Heart, I love you. Be safe.
Love you.
Thank you for another amazing episode. And everybody, have a great night.